Oh,
Rough.
Alright, as is our second tradition, last time on D&D.
I wasn't here.
Yeah, I'm next to useless right now.
I don't remember it because I was so fucking tired. So I know I flaked out a bit for a while. And
Alright, I'll see how I go.
Alright,
Alright,
go.
so we left to go see if we could find where the were-rats were. And we adventured up north. And we ran into some were-rats, took one hostage, and then we went to their main camp and talked to their leader there. His name was see if I can find his name.
I was accidentally muted. What was that, sorry? What was that last bit?
Oh, I forgot the name of the leader. I'm just checking my notes.
Yeah. Good.
Nipgrin,
That's good.
I think. Is it Nipgrin?
That's right.
Chipgrin.
Anyways, yeah, so we talked to him, and he wanted us to set up like a meeting with the Deep Gnome Town's leader. And so I think we're on that now.
Oh.
So, like, essentially you guys got back to town and explained, like, they wanted a meeting or whatever. Kind of didn't give them the full details that, like, Chipgrin gave you guys. Kind of kept it a bit under wraps or whatever. And then Dorbo, Chief Dorbo, basically was like, well, I'm going to send out some scouts to see if this whole ooze thing is legit or not. And you guys can scout out the House Center, which is the old like seat of government in Blindenstone. And essentially, the were-rats took over, and his logic was, well, if they're as hard-pressed by the oozes as they say, then there'll be evidence down at the House Center, because that's where they hold against the Blindenstone gnomes. And if I recall, you guys had basically just walked in the door when we kind of broke up for the night.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Or about to walk in the door. Everyone, yep. Know
Yep,
what's going on?
Yeah.
Any? All right. I'll give you guys a moment to find yourselves on the map. We're at Kazoot's Market, towards the northeast of them. Yep.
And where are we going? Like, where was our characters meant to be?
Just on the other side of that door, essentially. You guys just opened the door, essentially. Kick down the door.
Where is my little dude?
I think I just moved him. Yeah, I just moved him.
Thanks, bro.
No worries, bro. Got you back, bro.
Can someone who's free do me a solid and just check the levels on the stream, just with the volume changes?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Cheers.
Top bloke, mate. Top bloke.
Top ripper scratchy bloke, eh? Mate.
Rip a scratchy cat wagon. Yeah.
So it's probably, my volume will be different to everyone else's, so I don't know if it's the same, and I think the overall volume is probably going to be too loud, I'm thinking. But, yeah. Anyway. Some other people talk as well, so it's got the,
Hello!
thanks.
My name is Liam.
My name is Alex.
My name is what?
My name is...
What? My name is... Who? My name is...
Dick Dotty.
Slim Shady.
You're welcome to the impromptu rap portion of the D&D night.
Oh man, I wrote the best fucking freehand rap, like... Well, it's not really free... Nah, I kind of like ripped off Eminem, never mind. But it was good.
I like how they went from I did the greatest to I kind of ripped off Eminem into the story.
But it was good. I was making fun of like my university's online submission, always failing, and also me drinking, which was a big thing for a long time in my life.
So
How are the levels?
Is it good?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
seems
pretty
fine
good.
to me.
Alright, cool.
Like, my voice seemed abnormally loud, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me being weird. Hearing my own voice.
Hello.
It could
Hi.
be I have you higher in TS.
Huh.
That's because you like me better than everyone else, isn't it? Like, just be honest here.
I don't.
I won't be honest. You can't make me.
Resist.
I'll fight against my chains.
Alright, so we all ready or?
Yep.
Alright. So, the guards have already sort of like swung the doors open. You guys sort of make your way into the next cabin, which I will now reveal to you.
Wow, that looks pretty.
This is a big description. The walls of this great cavern are covered in slime. Dripping, sickening green slime. Echoes of dripping water also fill the cave, in the center of which is a large spherical structure held up off the floor by stone pillars. Around these pillars crawl dozens of living oozes, heaving forward while reaching out with grasping pseudopods. The sphere's surface, like the cave walls, is also covered in thick slime. Black slime swirls with yellow and grey in a disgusting soup, the unearthly patterns in the movements of the slime straining your eyes and tugging at your mind. A disembodied voice fills the cave.
What's this? What's this? Visitors? No, not yet. We're not ready. Go away, pests. I will call upon thee and all of Blindenstone to announce our glad tidings of the faceless lord to come at the proper time. Be gone.
Briefly after you hear this, all of a sudden the oozes stop swarming in random patterns. Just sort of freeze for a moment.
Kill it.
I feel sticky. I get the feeling he doesn't want us here.
It's gross. It's so totally gross.
Just if it wasn't clear, by the way, you're literally looking at maybe a few dozen oozes.
Maybe we could just send in Dotty's horse, just see what happens.
Fuck you. It's my friend.
But you can resummon it.
So did we have to?
We could do that if you want. Where's my horse?
It's just
Didn't drag him over.
Did we just have to see if they are here? Like, is that all we need to know? Or do we have to explore for a bit, you reckon?
Well, essentially, the guy, Dorbo, Chief Dorbo, thought that this entire area would be held by the were-rats, and you've now arrived here to find the place is covered in a foot of ooze in every direction.
Yeah.
I guess we
Take
should
what you
report
will
it.
out of that.
Yeah, probably reporting is a good idea. Like that many oozes. What was it? A dozen or 2 dozen or something?
We
Several
might need
dozen
some.
at
We
least.
might need some backup.
Yeah, definitely. It's not something we could pull off. I don't
Let's
think.
just like
Especially oozes.
close. Can we close the door?
You sort of like look behind you, and the guards are like wide-eyed, and they're already kind of like shutting the door.
No, guys, leave the door open. We're coming back.
Alright, well, I guess we'll dash back through the door if there's enough time to get through.
Yeah.
Yeah, the doors are pretty fucking heavy. Yeah.
Alright. Well,
Then we help.
get back
Yeah, and then I help them close the door when everyone's through. I'm like,
You kind of notice, like, as you sort of scrape the door, at first, like, the door scrapes on dry sort of stone, and it makes that, characteristic sound. And then towards the end, it kind of starts to slide a lot more easily, like it's been lubricated on the floor, and you kind of, like, look at the edge of the door at the bottom, and you kind of just see, like, this little teeny line of, like, vaguely grayish, greenish, sort of goo liquid, just ever so slightly visible in a fine line underneath the door. Hello, Ran. You didn't miss much.
Wesley is affected by level 1 sickness.
I don't know. It says like ooze residue on the ground. Should we maybe take that back to that scientist? Do you think that the one that sort of scientist, wherever they were, the alchemy person that made the thing to cure the boys? Do you reckon she'd have any interest in seeing this?
Maybe. Do we have
might
anything
as well.
to scoop it up
Maybe.
in?
That's what I'm thinking. I don't have any sort of receptacle.
I don't want to touch
Yeah,
it,
neither do
so...
I.
Look, yeah, I think I used my last one, which was the flask, to put some of that basilisk jizz in.
and it just
Yeah.
melted it, didn't it?
Yeah. Sure did.
Bloody Eldith.
Yeah, I know.
What a bitch.
My lucky one.
Alright, so you're going to try and scrape just a fine line of the stuff?
Yeah, I don't really have anything to put it in, so if anyone else has got some bags, like maybe glass or...
Let me have a look.
Oh, I've only got 2 healing potions, but yeah.
Pour the healing potion out and get the slime.
Oh shit. Yep,
Sure I got
there
something
goes
better than
50
that.
gold.
What about like a water flask or something? I don't know.
I
don't have shit.
We've got this one potion of rejuvenation. Let's just pour this out.
It sounds
Oh,
like
yeah.
a pretty good thing though.
It's apparently like 1,000 gold a pop or something.
That's that joke.
Oh,
As you guys are sort of standing around, like, just sort of speaking and, like, figuring out what to do, one of the guards kind of, like, wipes his brow and remarks to the others and sort of, like, speaking in your direction as well.
What the hell was that? Oh, it's a good thing these doors are adamantium. I wouldn't want to test those oozes against a steel door.
What, mate?
So maybe something glass, or not metal. Or an adamantium flask.
I'm going to, like, get
Take a
my...
flask out of the door.
I'm going to take a net out, and I'm going to look at the net, trying to work out a way of fashioning the net together so it becomes watertight. Or ooze-tight.
Ah.
Hang on, I'm just still launching up.
That's an amazing idea.
I'm not saying it's going to work. I'm just saying I'm looking at it.
Alright.
What would I need to
Do you
roll?
have-
What
do
would
you
I
have
need
any-
to roll?
Do you have any tool proficiencies?
I have proficiencies in thieves' tools, carpeting tools, and playing cards. Carpeting.
tools.
Like
You,
as in
you,
Yeah.
you know what? You know what? Going forward, I'll start adding empty potion vials and flasks
Yeah.
and stuff to my own inventory.
Like about
But-
20 of them, yeah.
But
What
I
container?
remember,
Roll a d20 plus 2.
Okay.
Sorry, let me
I
take
remember previously, I think it was when we were doing the stone temple stuff, I consumed one of my 8 potions of healing. Can we maybe just say that I've got the empty vial from that still in my inventory somewhere?
that. Did you say, oh, I'm going to keep the glass vials?
No, but what I'm saying is, like, can we just this time say that I did, but going forward, if I haven't added it to my inventory and said that I'm keeping it, then
But it's
Alright, I'll let
probably
you,
more
I'll let you
likely,
have
yeah.
one spare one.
It's probably
I'll let you
more
have one
likely that
spell.
he would like drink it and keep it rather than drink it and dash it against the ground in dramatic fashion.
I mean, it kind of depends on the situation. Like, if we're in the middle of combat, I'd probably just like drop it on the ground. But this was like after combat was finished, and I'm like, I'm just gonna drink one of my flasks real quick. So I hand an empty potion vial over to Malvo.
Um,
Try sticking your slime in that one, Malvo.
oh, thank you. I'll definitely- oh, sure. Would it be easy to sort of push some in here with something? Or is it like sort of flattened out against the ground, or is it just like on the door? Can I just like scoop it with the vial?
You like it's kind of like wedged in between the door and the floor, so you'd need something like a stick or something to scrape it.
I'll take out a bit of the mushroom bark, and I'll sort of use that to get it into the flask.
Okay.
I don't want to touch it.
As you scrape the bark against the ooze, it kind of just begins to immediately just smoke a bit and just smell like the wood like instantly decaying.
Okay, so it's not really pushing it much?
Not really.
Okay, can we just acknowledge that I rolled a 21?
Yeah, I'm typing an answer while also speaking.
Okay, didn't realize you were... I thought we got lost in
You've done a good job.
the glass. Look, what I really want is for, like, Rodolph to, like, have already, like, got the vial, filled it up with the goo, while I'm just, like, sitting there with the net, just, like, tying it into one another. Just like, yes.
I know Roger's gonna hate this, but I'll pull out Roger instead, and I'll use Roger to scoop up the goo into the glass vial. And,
Why are you going to use Roger?
because I can't use metal things. Just want the guards there.
Alright, so sorry. I'm going to assume the big cabin with the purple shiny stuff is the one that we like walked into and we're like, nope, and like backed
Yeah.
immediately out of.
Did you see the text that I posted in
Yeah,
Steam
I'm
chat?
typing a response.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
Terrain, did you
which-
see? Yeah.
Which is why I'm now just confirming that that's the...
Yeah, that's the room. Yeah.
Gone. Or anyone else. On the clock. Residents.
Yep. So that's the room basically.
Or words.
Okay, so just to kind of make this a bit more law friendly, Braven was so in just in thought about how to make his net into some sort of thing. He goes, "I made a basket," but to everyone else, I haven't actually made it. It's just literally a net lying on the floor, and I'm very proud of the fact that I've apparently made a wicker basket.
The thought that counts, Braven.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, I'm just gonna put that in the back pocket again. Hopefully
Yeah,
everyone
like you would
forgets.
estimate that you would need like the appropriate type of wood. You would definitely need like carpenter's tools and perhaps like an hour of time to make like a full-on basket, basically from scratch.
So, while Marvo's shoving his ooze in glass vials, you know, just cramming it in there.
I just want like
And,
a mod really, so I was just I wanted to see if I could use, Roger the Pet Rat to
I just think
push some. I just want like a tiny bit basically. I don't really care
You-
about more than that.
You get a teeny smear,
Alright.
maybe like half a mil or 1 mil, between like scraping, like, because Roger's obviously not very particularly sharp. You kind of like manage to get a little bit on like the corner, and then you kind of scrape it into the vial just on the lip, and there's like maybe a mil to half a mil.
Right. Okay, there's still a lot left out there, or?
There's maybe like another 5 mils, maybe 10 mils, along the edge of the door.
Alright, I don't really have anything else to put in there, so I'll just leave it for now. I'm gonna pass it to Rodolph.
Rodolph will make sure, like, you know, none of the ooze is on the outside and put a cork in and, like, very carefully put it in one of his pockets for safekeeping, making sure it's, like, you know, standing upright and stuff so that the ooze inside will, you know, gravitate towards the bottom and not, like, melt the cork and then promptly melt him.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, I suppose you better head off and report to the head dude. I'm great
that-
at remembering names.
That room is fucked. Like, I can cast fireballs and stuff, but that room is just. Let's go report, and I'll tell him to just like build a wall. Just build a wall.
God.
So
Well, they already have.
was the mission to find out what it like? Just because I was all, like, wait. So was our kind of quest to clear the room, or to determine what's the problem with the room?
There's supposed to be
Wait.
were rats in there, and there weren't
Yeah.
rats
Okay.
at all.
That,
Yeah.
which like we solved the problem. We
There's a
filled it
whole-
with
It's
slimes.
a whole sort of political thing to do with like resolving the were rat issue sort of thing.
Yeah.
You
Alright.
do it like either peacefully or with force, I think,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, Dorbo didn't trust the were-rats when they said, "Oh, we're getting like hit hard by oozes." So he sent you
So-
to like one of their strongholds, essentially, to like check it out. And lo and behold, Ooze Town.
Ooze town population ooze.
So
So
take of that what you will.
so Rodolph's just gonna turn like. So you're saying that there are like guards and stuff at the door.
There are currently 2 guards. Both of them look rather young, but they are fully
Good. Young is
bedecked.
good. Rodolph just kind of like saunters up to one of them
Oh.
and like casually
Crazy.
like take
I
it
need
as
a
it
young
said.
child.
I need a young boy. What? No. And like lean up against it and say, "So, you seem young. You must know the mindset of the youngins in Blindenstone. What's your opinion on the were-rats?"
Yeah. Well, that's a hard question to answer. Everyone has a different opinion. I guess most of us just, well, want them to go away. We came back. We're the true descendants of those who used to live here in Blindenstone, and we
But-
fought hard to reclaim the place.
But I mean, like when you really think about it, they're also the descendants of the original inhabitants of Blindenstone. So they've just got a bit of were-rat stuff going on. Anyway, so if they go away, or they help you like clear the oozes and live in peace with you, like you reckon everybody would be cool with that, right? Little bit of an alliance, friends. What's your take on it? As just a guard, a member of the city, not one of the, the higher ups. How you going?
The other guy kind of like interjects. But how can you have allies that you don't even trust? In the middle of the battle, they could all stab us in the back.
Well, that's the thing about allies. You gotta build trust. Like, take these guys that I'm with right now. Like, see that dwarf over there? When we first met, I thought he was a bit of a fucking asshole. But when
About me right now.
no, not you, Malvo, not you. The other dwarf, the other guy. Rolled up like nudges the guard and says, you gotta get to know the people you're working with, and then friendships form, and trust develops, and things are good.
And then, the first one replies, well, yeah, but, let's just say they haven't been too keen on that. From what I recall, every time you sent an emissary, they killed him.
Well, they didn't kill us.
Well, I don't think they could.
A Raven's just going to like.
That's
This
in
guy's
character,
like-
by the way. Rodolph's
Yeah.
just laughing. He claps the guard on the shoulder and is like,
He looks like extremely embarrassed now that you've laughed.
"No, sorry. I'm laughing at us, not at you. I'm sorry.
We almost
Alright.
died to like a small body of water with the sword.
I almost drowned in a dam."
But I thought you guys killed the Medusa.
Oh, we did. Don't
We
get us
did.
wrong, we did. Well, I didn't. I got turned into stone. The other guys did.
You guys are
Trust.
sure.
I wasn't
Trust.
there. I wasn't
You guys
there
are
for
sure
that.
different than what the tavern stories are like.
stories often are greatly exaggerated.
What we're saying is that we can hold our own in a fight, but if it's against like
An entire
kind of-
city of
yeah,
were-rats.
then probably we're gonna get bit. Like we're not gonna make it out. I mean, Rodolph, he can throw fireballs, but I mean, there's only so many rats you can set on fire
You
before they
throw
just
fireballs?
before they just stop being
Great
on
big
fire.
balls of a Malvo.
Oh,
Anyway, sorry to take up so much of your time. You guys are doing a lovely job guarding this gate. If any more oozes try and get through, maybe call for us or run away. We're gonna go report in, and we're gonna see if we can't, like, you know, just sort this whole thing out for you, or at least make the were-rats not a problem for you anymore, so you can just concentrate on the. Bye-bye. Rodolph just starts walking away.
They like kind of look at each other and then like remember the door behind them and and sort of like turn around and like stare at the edges of the door as they hold on to their weapons.
Alright, so where do we have to go again?
All
where
the
is that?
way to the bottom towards the left.
is
Yeah,
the
I assume you're
is
going
that lady
to.
that helped cure Brian and Liam on the way?
Actually, she's sort of like in the outskirts of town, like a solid 20-minute walk away.
Alright. On the back burner.
Yeah. So, I guess we're heading to the Digger Mattocks.
Yeah. That sounds like a good plan.
As we're walking there, Rodolph's going to be like looking at the others and being all sort of. So, I'm not very good at describing things and like being taken serious. Maybe. Do one of you guys maybe want to try like explaining to this guy who just wants to kill the were-rats rather than maybe work with them and better their whole situation, that like it's literally a cavern full of slime and it wants to kill the were-rats and them. Like, I don't think if I try and explain it to him I'm going to do a very good job.
He mentioned something about the master was coming or something, or like it sounded like it was leading up to
The
something, but
Faceless
they weren't-
Lord?
The Faceless Lord, yeah. Everything wasn't ready, so it was the main thing.
Do you want me to post the dialogue?
Sure. I'm bringing most of it, but
Yeah, I think we got a pretty good idea. It was just exactly pretty much what you guys said. The Lord dude, and they weren't ready.
Faceless Lord
Soon.
doesn't bode well.
So it sounds like they're planning to attack soon.
Definitely prepping for something, and they have a lot of things already, so if we wait for them to finish prepping, then they have
So
lots of things
what
in
we
there.
need to do is to try and get this alliance happening as soon as possible between these two factions to then take on these damn oozes.
So, would we render anything on the way back? Or could we just like go all the way back?
So you guys are just walking through the town to Digger Mattock Hall, right?
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yep. So I would assume that you guys make it through just fine.
There's nothing to talk about now.
Just a question. With the slimes, they like the guards mentioned that like it would burn through metal, yeah?
They didn't, strictly speaking. They just said that they were like happy or whatever that the door was made out of adamantine rather than steel. Like they wouldn't trust a steel door to hold out the oozes.
Alright.
Sorry, I just have to like retype this paragraph.
I wonder if they can get under the door. Judging by that little slime thing that you picked up that stuff from.
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing that was on the inside
It
of the
seemed
door,
like
right?
it was crushed or sort of slid under the door when it was moved more than
Hmm.
it was trying to get. I assume they'd
Yeah.
a way out of there.
For what it's worth, you didn't see the slime moving when you were collecting or anything like that.
Okay.
Uh, Alright. I just retyped the thing. For what it's worth. Alright. Alright, so I assume you guys just sort of walk into the Digamatox Hall, or? Alright.
Come at the proper time.
So you walk in, and as usual, it's fairly busy. There's, maybe a dozen or slightly more gnomes all milling about, carrying messages to each other or poring over documents on tables. And as you sort of walk up to the dais that the Digamatox desks are sitting on, Senny notices you first. She sort of leans forward a bit. Welcome back, Overworlders.
Thank you.
At this point, Dorbo kind of like notices you're there as well. Sorry. And he immediately follows up with, "That was quicker than expected. What happened?"
Oh, it's probably not what you were expecting. We went up there, expecting to see these were-rats, and we prepared ourselves for were-rats. And look, behind the door is no were-rats at all. It's every color of the rainbow ooze, and like dozens of them. And there's some kind of a voice cried out, talking about some sort of faceless lord and how they weren't ready. We thought it was too big of a fight to do on our own, so we backed out. We thought, it'd be better to share the news with her. Good news, not where-outs there, but ooze galore. Yes.
At this point, Senny's expression grows visibly more and more grim as you speak.
Oozes on the floor, oozes on the wall, oozes on the ceiling.
It's like a buffet for ooze.
Like,
Just you can't walk for oozes.
I see. To say that this does not bode well is an understatement, I'm afraid.
That's gallows humor.
Well, seems the rat was right. Seems we've also got our work cut out for us, even more so than what we thought we did before you Overworlders even got here. I just hope the rest of the scouts I sent out don't bring back reports as damning as yours.
Have you
Oh.
heard of a faceless lord?
or you send out other scouts?
Yeah, you don't remember from last time? Yeah, I did.
Would you guys like to roll a history check or a religion check or a arcana check, whichever you prefer?
I'll do. I'm waiting for my sheet to load up, but I'll probably do a religion check on the faceless lord.
Yeah.
Wow, that's taking some time.
They're all -1 for me. So we're all doing one each for like a group thing, or it's just separately?
It's individual, but yeah.
Okay.
Give it a try. Like,
I'm just doing a religion because I'm proficient.
see, you rolled better than I did.
I only did one better for religion.
I rolled a fucking 1.
Oh wow.
Savage.
Savage.
Last time we managed.
Alright.
Don't kill an innocent person, therefore things.
I'm still missing a couple.
I thought they were doing one each. Right, sorry. What do I need to do? Just any of them.
So arcana, history, or religion, yeah. Whichever you prefer, in other words.
Oh, okay.
I think if we're doing group checks, we all roll and then Alex takes the average.
Yeah, I get that. I just thought that you guys were doing like one of each of them. Because they're all different, so I was just, no more.
Yeah, it's all good.
Liam?
Come on, Liam, bring us
Mhm.
home. Bring us home with a sweet check.
All right. All right. Which?
I can't
Yeah, is it like
choose your
a-
religion.
Yeah,
History's
that's
probably going to be your best bet.
I'm sure you would think that, wouldn't you? Just gonna go with.
Which one you're proficient in?
Oh, look,
which-
I'm not proficient with either. A Braver does not know history. He does not know religion. He knows only war and deception.
So Wesley knows the most out of all of you.
That's because Wesley's real smart.
He's real smart and shit.
And
Yeah.
all he
He's a learned
knows,
gentleman.
all he knows of the Faceless Lord is basically.
He doesn't have a face. Boom, knowledge drop.
Ironically, he has many faces.
He's vaguely aware that the Faceless Lord is like one of many sort of quote-unquote boogeymen used in like various children's stories as like, you know, this sort of like the equivalent to the boogeyman in the closet, except like for entire civilizations as opposed to, you know, in one child's bedroom, if that makes sense. You know, basically an evil sort of deity of sorts. You're not entirely sure what the go is, but you remember, yeah, essentially, the Faceless Lord is bad news. And if it's and if it's large enough to be well known in children's stories, then chances are it's a big one, if that makes sense. But you did ask the question of Dorbo, and Dorbo kind of shrugs his shoulders but looks towards Seni, and Seni kind of pauses for a moment before sort of resting on her chair, kind of slumping a bit, leaning forward on her elbows. That name, if I recall, is a pseudonym for Jubilex. Jubilex the Faceless One. Yes, a demon of some renown. In fact, to call him a demon is not quite enough.
Oh shit.
I don't like that.
No, doesn't sound good.
Don't you mean he's his daddy demon?
I mean, a demon lord would perhaps be more appropriate.
Okay.
Bordering on a deity.
That's very scary. Might I add, to give you more information before we move on, that inside the room, not only were these houses, it seemed were a giant sort of, like a sphere-like structure, held up on pillars, and it was sort of like dripping out. Now that I think about it, I don't know, is it just me thinking, is it making more oozes? So the longer we keep it, the more oozes there will be.
The building is our house center.
Okay.
If you recall, we sent you to scout it out precisely because of how important it is, both to us as a symbol of Blindenstone, and to the were-rats, I suppose perhaps for the same reason, and perhaps just to keep it from us. But yes, that sounds like our old house center. To hear that it's covered in oozes is disturbing.
This
Follows, go ahead.
This might be a good time to mention that the were-rats aren't so much interested in keeping it from you and more interested in stopping it being covered in oozes. They're actually open to, if you guys are, to actually working together to fix the issue.
At this point, Torbo kind of like snorts. Yeah, I'm sure they'll be real willing to work with us until the oozes are all gone, and then it'll either be back to where we started, or we'll have their knives in our backs. But
What is the bigger issue here, yes?
yeah, well, it's not like we have much choice by the sound of it. Well, we'll see about that. At this point, kind of Senny, like, lets out a deep sigh. The trial, the were-rats, now an army of oozes. It seems our historians will have to start being more specific when they write of the battle for Blindenstone. And if it's anything like the first one, well, then I just hope there will be some Blindenstone left to fight over by the end of it all.
Forgive me for asking, but do you have a backup plan? You know, if this all goes south, do you have somewhere you can go?
At this point, kind of Dorbo slams his fist on the table. No! No! And he briefly falters for a moment. We won't allow it. In fact, he waves over a nearby gnome, who between his grey beard and like large spectacles, he looks particularly scholarly. You, set up a meeting here tomorrow at noon. You know who to bring. The time has come for a council of war. The rats had better fall in line if they know it's good for them. Overworlders, I suggest you use this time to get ready for battle. And I admit perhaps your counsel will come in handy tomorrow. At least if nothing else, you can help get this Chip Grin to work for us. Or at least work with us. And without whatever it is that he's offering costing us everything we have.
We'll do our best, I guess.
And at this point, like, Dorbo's managed to drum up the attention of everyone in the room. All the gnomes are sort of listening intently. Senny, for her part, just nods once now with a bit of a distinct edge of resolve, adding to her grim expression.
I'll walk out.
Yeah, we better go get prepped up.
Yeah,
Yes.
as you walk out, like, all the activity in the room just sort of redoubles. Everyone starts, like, moving furniture and shit.
Alright.
Alright.
Armor against oozes.
Well, one thing I'm going to do
Anti-ooze
first is
weaponry.
repair my weapon. So, I'm going to go head off to the Cavern of Clatter to go get it fixed.
Do we know what... So, adamantium is what's resistant to ooze.
Well, adamantium and mithril are both, like, very rare materials, and they tend to be just, in their own ways, better than steel in virtually every regard, to greater or lesser amounts. It's not necessarily immune to ooze. All you know is just that the guards kind of trusted it more than steel.
Yeah. Is it... So, what do we know is actually useful against it?
That's what I was about to ask. Does anyone want to go see that lady to take the ooze there? Just see if
Oh yeah, and see if she can,
out from
Yep.
the one
Yep.
that I've got.
Alright.
For the record, like, you would probably know that Kazook Pickshine would be more useful,
So,
considering he's the alchemist, yeah.
oh yeah, yep. So that was further up, is it?
Yeah, to the northeast.
By the way, for the record, like, it's quite late. Like, by this point, it would be like 7 o'clock-ish when most of the businesses are starting to close. So, if you're gonna catch someone, now would be like the time.
Does he have a living quarters that we know about?
Not that you know about, but if you rush there, you might be able to catch him before you get to, like, before the market wraps up.
Alright, well I might run over to the Cavern of Clatter
Alright,
so we can find someone.
Rodolph,
Yep,
do you
yep.
want to quickly go to see Kazook?
Yeah, Rodolph will take his pretty skirt up and make Drax.
Savage, I forgot about the dress. Alright, we'll do we'll do Zogger because that's, like, geographically closer. Yeah, so you get to the Cavern of Clatter, and, like, the sound of, like, forging is much less than like, you know, during the middle of the day. You sort of see a lot of, like, blacksmiths beginning to sort of, like, pack up their tools, and you sort of walk up to the same one that you used, like, with Malvo to make, like, all that fancy gear from earlier. And
Yep.
as you approach, he's just sort of packing away some tools and stuff.
Hey there, I'm looking to get a weapon repaired. If it's not too late.
Oh, I remember you.
Oh,
Hello.
hello.
I suppose you could leave with me and I could start it in the morning. What is it?
You wouldn't be able to work on it overnight, if possible? Because we
Well-
need to head out to do some serious business tomorrow. And I need it ready for tomorrow.
Well, I
tomorrow morning.
suppose for double the fee I could work on it, but depending on what the damage is like, even that might not be long enough.
I'll let you have a look at it. And I hand him over the halberd.
Yeah, he kind of like hefts it a bit. If I recall, it's a Duragar manufactured weapon, right?
Yeah, it is. Yep.
He kind of hefts it.
Oh, don't see much of these around here. Or did you get it in the Duragar caravan not too long ago?
Yeah, we got it in the last city we're in. Last Duragar city.
So not from the caravan. Okay. Well, suppose I could have it done by late tomorrow. I'm afraid I'm not very familiar with Duragar weapons. And this one looks pretty badly beaten up. It looks like acid damage.
Yeah, we ran into a couple of oozes from time to time. I was taking a bit of a beating, yeah.
But, I mean, with that type of damage, I'd have to almost reforge it. It'd cost a tenth as much to buy a new one. In fact, I've got one at the back if you wish.
And it's a tough decision, because I do need one for tomorrow.
Is it just a regular halberd?
It's got the enchant on
The
it.
blessing.
Ah,
Yeah,
balls.
with the +3 damage.
Why don't you just buy a new one while he's fixing that one?
If I've got enough money to pay for
You can
both.
just wield two halberds when you get them.
Yes. Yes, I reckon that's a good idea. I might buy one and let you repair this one just in case I need it sooner.
Okay. Well, a fresh halberd will cost you 20 gold. My usual fee for this type of thing, with all the work that it would take to, well, repair it, would be about 100 gold. If you want me to work throughout the night, I'm afraid that'll be double the usual fee.
I do not have that amount for the repair, so I might just grab a halberd off you for the time being.
Well,
Because I'm a bit poor at the moment.
that's understandable, like.
Hard
Yeah,
times.
He goes out the back and he pulls out a halberd. This one's like basically entirely wooden, except for the head, which is like much more lightweight than the Duragar one. It kind of feels a little bit more flimsy. Perfectly like serviceable weapon, but definitely something like made perhaps on a bit of a budget. And like your Duragar weapon is like almost entirely like dense steel essentially. And you sort of you hand that over, and he kind of slots it. Oh wait, you didn't want the repair, did you?
No, because I've only
okay.
got like 46 gold
Well,
on me.
He hands the halberd back to you. I mean to say, along with the new one.
Alright, cool. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no worries. Enjoy.
He kind of goes
Thanks.
back to packing up his crap.
Alright, and I'll go join back up with the others.
Alright, sick. Yep, so you get to the market just in time to catch Kazook as he's sort of walking out. In fact, through the entrance that you just entered through.
Okay.
Kind of like noticing.
Oh, look, Kazuk. Oh, you got a moment before you go home. It's important.
Basically, because when you noticed him, you only noticed him as you're about to pass him. So like he kind of like gets startled as you were passing,
I'm sorry.
and he's like, "Oh,
I remember you. You're the caravan guys, right?
Sure, yes.
What do you want?
Do you have somewhere we can talk?
he kind of like looks around. Oh,
What's wrong with here?
Oh, sure, why not? Rodolph, you've got the thing, don't you? feedback?
I sure do. Rodolph pulls out the vial of small amount of slime and hands it over to Kazook.
Oh, what's this?
That's all.
Slime.
Okay, and why have you brought it to me?
We didn't know who else to bring it to. We thought, it'd be good to get some, or a little bit or something, so you could, figure out what it is, possible weaknesses. Beyond the door is many oozes that we'll probably have to
Rodolph
kill.
points to the door on the other side of the cabin. That door right there, just in case
And
right next to where you'll still get set up.
yeah, you might want to know a bit more about it yourself, and maybe you could help the warriors of this fine establishment as well.
He kind of like looks at the door with a bit of like wide-eyed alarm.
Well, thanks for the warning, but I'm not sure you know this, but we've had oozes attacking us for a while now. We've had plenty of time to get samples.
As he like hands the vial back over.
That's good. Yeah, good, because this is a very small one. Could you tell us anything about it that we wouldn't know already?
Well, okay.
He walks over. He walks over to like a nearby stall and kind of like sits on it. It's not even his stall. Kind of sits out.
Well, where do I begin? There are several different types of oozes and slimes and cubes. There are black puddings, black ochres, there are green slimes,
At
red
this point,
slimes.
I'm gonna sit cross-legged down, and I'll be letting just listen to this. Rodolph, you getting all this? Rodolph?
I'm listening.
Oh,
Black slimes and gray slimes, most of them have acidic properties, some of them do not. Gelatinous cubes are almost invisible unless you can see something in them. Those tend to suck you up. I think you guys fought some. Yes, I remember now.
wait, so the black ones are acidic?
Well, most of them are.
Okay.
And
Yep.
if we were to say they were like all just kind of like pooling together in a cavern into some sort of like super like ooze orgy, would you kind of have any thoughts on that?
Yes, that is disgusting.
But like, are there any dangers to that? Like, are they gonna like couple themselves together into some sort of like omni ooze that we have like,
Generally, I've never seen different types of ooze combine. I mean, generally, they tend to act like different entities, as mindless as they are. Otherwise, they would just kind of meld into one ooze, which would be horrifying now that I think about it.
Yes. Have you done any experiments on what they don't like?
Well, each one's different. Black puddings, they eat flesh, wood, metal, and bone, and gelatinous cubes only eat living tissue, and
Did you say post? Sorry, continue.
gray oozes, well, that's like stone, but turned to liquid. There are yellow ones, they call them ochre jellies. Well, those are smarter than most. As for weaknesses, well, to be honest, not really. Just most of them don't even bother trying to hit them with any sort of regular weapon. They'll just dissolve. And some of them are immune to fire. Some of them are immune to... Most of them are immune to acid. Some of them are immune to cold, or at least resistant. I suppose if you got them cold enough to freeze solid, well, it'd have to be a lot colder than what you'd get water to freeze in it anyway.
So, magic? You say
Wow.
magic would mostly work apart from fire.
It depends on what type of magic. Acid, cold, fire, not so well. Some of them, even lightning, probably not very conductive. Probably wouldn't be very effective. Like I said, each one seems to be different. And that's what makes a pack of different ones, well, even more frightening than just a whole bunch of one type.
Okay, well that's a lot of information. Thank you.
Now,
Anytime.
slightly related question. Um,
Mouse?
these 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 spell stones, which seem to be quite popular here in Blindenstone, um,
Yeah, I suppose you would be curious about that.
yeah, do they come in the variety that explode
Well,
largely?
listen, we're not supposed to talk about this, but seeing as how you delivered them, and, well, the raw stones, and seeing as how you guys, well, seem to be doing pretty well for yourselves here in the town, if you know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
I can explain. The spell stones are a well-kept secret by the gnomes. Only we know how to make them. You get a well-crafted piece of obsidian, perfectly shaped, well cut. And then, in a ritual that I won't describe, we make what's called a spell gem. How they work is well, any caster worth their salt can cast a spell into the gem, which absorbs the spell and holds it in reserve. Then any moron can go and activate the gem, and the spell will get cast not by the person, but by the gem itself. This means weaker apprentices can have powerful gems that can cast spells more accurately and more powerfully than themselves, and people with no experience of magic at all can also use simple gems. So I suppose if you had a spell gem and put some sort of spell in it that caused an explosion, perhaps a fireball, I don't see any reason why you couldn't.
And do these absorb like any spell? Like, could they absorb a firebolt, for example? You know, a cantrip?
That's an interesting question. There are different grades of spell gems. Standard obsidian-looking black ones, well, they only hold spells almost as powerful as a full-blown fireball. They can hold anything down to a cantrip if you wish. Then you have jade spell gems. We don't have so many of them around. Not many jades around here. And then it goes all the way up to the most powerful type, the ruby spell gem. Wow, those can cast spells as powerful as an archmage.
So hang on,
Really rare.
these different qualities of spell gems are made out of these different specific gems? Like a ruby for a ruby spell gem?
Well,
Or they're all made from obsidian, they're just classified differently.
no, they're all made from the respective gem types, but the cost of the gem is the least of the concern. And the more powerful the gem, the more powerful the ritual, and the more expensive the other reagents required. More time, more skill.
Alright,
I can barely create jade ones on a good day.
so
Ruby ones are truly rare.
rubies, jade, would they work with diamonds?
One moment.
Diamonds, emeralds, you know, other kinds of precious
Let
stones.
me pull up the
Sorry,
list.
everybody else in the party who's maybe not interested in magic. I'm getting to my point eventually. Just
Speaking of which, I've got a question for Alex after when you get a moment.
One moment. I'll do with your question while I'm looking this up. Yeah.
You know how we got our weapons buffed? Well, enchanted or whatever? Do they count as magic weapons?
they count
the
as plus
purpose-
one weapons now, don't they?
Sort of. For the purpose of ignoring resistances, yes, but not for the purpose of like damage, essentially, like resistant from acid.
Yeah, because I was just wondering, because I just bought a new weapon, I was thinking, oh, it's going to get damage if I attack oozes with it. And so I was thinking, if I attack with a magic weapon, it won't get damaged. Kind of thing. So I'm guessing it will still get damaged, the magic weapon?
The blessed ones? Yes.
Yeah.
The magic, like, proper magic ones? No.
Oh, okay. Well, there goes 20 gold. Oh well.
Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, Kazoo kind of goes, well, I'm afraid much of our knowledge was lost the first time Blindenstone was invaded. It's possible other gems would work, but personally, the only ones I'm familiar with are regular, jade, and ruby. And I'm a long way off making rubies. Even the best of us struggled with that. And even then, it was a trial of decades. So for now, it's, well, regular gems, and if you're lucky, you might find a jade one somewhere out there in the world.
Alright, and how long would it take to process, for example, an obsidian gemstone or some rubies into spell gems?
Well, as I said, the rubies would take decades, even if I had the skill. The regular obsidian ones, well, those are perhaps a month or a week if I had help.
Does anybody else in Blindenstone make spell gems? Perhaps, anybody who could perhaps make them faster? Or is there a stockpile of spell gems somewhere, perhaps, that,
Well, every spell gem we can spare is usually mounted on the walls. I'm not sure if you can. Well, you must have come in through the front gates. If you remember, the walls were lined with spell gems. There were traps. Most of the spell gems from inside of Blindenstone and the ruined areas have all been, well, triggered or stolen. And in order to prevent theft, most of the gems that are already outside, they're secured with sovereign glue. That's very difficult to remove if you didn't know.
So I guess two questions. One, what happens if the trap's activated? And two, how can we remove some, if not all of them?
Well, each gem would typically have a different type of trap. Otherwise, people would know how to avoid them all. Some of them fireball on themselves. Some of them cast lightning bolt. Each one's different. As for removing them, well, one moment.
He pulls out a sort of like a piece of parchment, and he kind of like scrolls through it. One moment.
While he's doing this, Roldorf just kind of like says, I don't think we should steal the ones that they're using, but I was thinking, you know, if it's easy to get our hands on some of them, or, well, we obviously can't have some made for us because they take months to make, but, you know, I could put a couple of my spells into some guys to use when we go and deal with this slime, you know, like, before I rest tonight, I could do like a fireball and a lightning bolt. I could do like scorching ray. I could maybe give someone invisibility. Magic missile. You know,
how many times would that use? Like, so if you put like magic missile, how many times could we cast magic missiles with the stone?
Just the one time, I assume.
Yeah, like, and then you would recharge it like through a ritual. So yeah, because he kind of eventually replies,
yeah, so, from what I understand, you would need a universal solvent, which is extremely rare, or oil of etherealness, also very rare. That's all that I know.
You tell me?
I swear we had some oil of etherealness. I think one of us maybe like rubbed themselves down in it while we were like in.
That does sound like something we would do.
In the cave over in Grackle Star or
I
whatever.
think that was something else. I vaguely remember it was something else. But I mean, check inventories if you wish.
Anyway, I don't. Yeah, I'm not looking to steal it. I just kind of figured if
Well, they might donate one to you for the
Yeah.
right reason, but just
who,
yep.
so because who would we speak to? Because the Digger Mattox are like they're calling a war council tomorrow, and we're gonna go like kick the slime's ass. Slimes don't have ass, but we're gonna kick it. And I thought maybe if I could get my hands on some spell gems, I could give. I'm I'm a wizard. I can, fireballs, lightning bolts, magic missiles. I can cast a lot of spells. I could put a lot of these spells into some spell gems to give my party and thus Blindenstone an edge in this upcoming battle. Is there anyone who I could talk to about getting some spell gems? Like, should I talk to the Digger Maddox about it? Do you know
Well,
any?
here's the thing. You came by with a sack full of gems meant to be turned into spell gems. Before you arrived, we hadn't had a shipment from Grackleston in a long time. Meaning, all of the gems we had before are more or less affixed to the walls. These are the latest replacements that you've just sent me. I'm barely halfway through making one of them.
Okay, that's fair
Which
enough.
I would gladly give you, but you say there's a war council on tomorrow?
There sure is.
I guess I'm not going into work tomorrow then.
Are you
I'm
abandoning the
on the
fight?
I'm on the council, you see.
Oh, well, I'm sure you'll get a messenger anytime now telling you that there's a war council on tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow then. Sorry to have kept you. We'll probably bring the spell gems up at tomorrow's meeting. We'll get a memo to you. Does anybody else have any questions for him before we let him, go home?
As you sort of say that, he kind of like rushes to correct.
Normally it would be my brother Dasco, but he's away for a while. Mining expedition.
To find more spell gems, I assume.
Well, to find more gems of any variety.
Sounds like a good lad, good lad. Thank you for your time. Have a good night. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
He kind of looks like a bit befuzzled.
We have a lot of stuff to
yeah.
do, It's not every night that the night is before a day of a war council and kicking the slimes behinds and lots to do, lots of people to talk to.
Yes. Good night.
Kind of waddles off.
Are we walking the same way out? Like when you're walking, I don't have a car, but you both say your goodbye and then you walk towards the same way, and then it's just awkward. Are we doing that right now?
Well, he's walking towards the south.
Alright.
You guys are currently standing there. Are you guys gonna?
Well, we
where are
have
you
to go
guys heading?
south anyway,
Yeah.
because we're...
Oh, this is awkward.
We'll just slow down a bit so we're not walking at the same speed.
Look at this lovely, stone formation, Malvo. Isn't it lovely?
I'll just,
Oh god.
do a quick wave to the guards at the door that we saw, like, hours ago.
For the record, you see him sort of turn into this little entranceway here, just beyond the entrance,
Right, I'll
just
follow
beyond the tunnel.
Back.
All right. Okay. So he ducks away, and what's the plan now?
I suppose we better go rest up at the inn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless anyone else has something they need to do.
Thinking. I don't think there's nothing I need to do. Because it's like the fog as well, isn't that?
Yes. Ogre mocks Bane.
Yeah. And we still haven't dealt with that as well. Oh,
No.
hopefully it won't cross with what we're doing, but yeah. Yeah, I'll head to the end as well. I can't think of anything I need to do. Probably things I should be doing.
Alright, so you guys kind of get to the inn as it's just, sort of roaring in trade. Everyone's just knocked off work. People are pouring in alongside you even as you walk in the door. And, yeah, like, it's quite lively.
Alright, well,
That's
I'll go order a pint of ale and some food and get tucked in.
Alright. Well, as you walk up, sort of Tappy Foam Strap, as her name is, she's kind of like running backwards and forwards between tables. Well, I'll be with you with a moment. And, a few minutes later, she comes back. A beer and a meal, I presume?
Yep. If that is of no trouble.
Not for you, it's not. And she, while grinning, brings back like a set of meals, one for each one. A beer for everyone. For you guys, that'll be 5 gold.
In total.
Yes.
Alright, no, I'll pass at 5 gold.
Thank you.
Thank
She
you.
kind of like runs off to the other tables.
Alright, grab the stuff and go sit down and eat. And drink.
On drink. Yeah. So I should probably put like the sick, like in music on. What am I doing in my life? Oh yeah, boy. Yeah. So like the atmosphere in the pub is pretty lively. People. It's the usual drinking noises. Everyone's cavorting around. It's a usual sort of like a Friday night at the pub type of deal. But at the same time, as you sort of glance around, you notice that a few people who are much quieter than everyone else. There's typically sitting at tables with each other. Just 2 or 3 tables of people just sort of sitting and like mumbling quietly to each other.
Alright.
Nom 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 nom.
Fair enough. You guys
That's
just-
my eating noise.
And Zoga gets a bit of gas and he just like lets rip a massive
fucking savage.
and then chuckles about it.
Luckily for you, the sound is mostly drowned out by the commotion in the pub. But yeah, before long, you guys are sort of all finished your meals.
Alright. Guess we could go to bed.
That's what you want to do?
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone we really need to like talk to if we do want to look around and spot anyone. I think it's all it's really on our mind is the council thing on tomorrow.
Yes.
Just on the off chance that we get sprung in the night, I'm gonna check. Me personally, I'm gonna take a short rest before I take a long rest, just in case it's broken and I get hit points back. So.
Well, I'll count the eating of the meal to be a short rest if you guys want it.
All right.
Alright, sure.
It's just me being paranoid. But
Yeah, it's a good thought. It's a good idea.
Hi. Alright,
Welcome back.
I'm back for good now.
So you guys are just at the pub, just finished a meal.
Alright, I'm back to full.
Alright.
Back. Okay, I'm gonna go to sleep now.
Alright, so you guys all gonna head to bed, or
Yep,
any
get a
last
waddle
things
off
to do before the
and go
night?
lay in the bed and snooze.
Huh?
Oh,
yeah.
actually, can I just do
Yeah.
one small flavour thing before I go to bed?
Sure.
When it's died down a bit and there's not many good diners, can I go over to like the nice lady that gave us the meals?
Yeah, sure.
So,
So, maybe an hour goes past. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Might be a weird request, but I've had this lucky rock of mine and I pull it out, and it's well, it's a bit dirty now. That's not my bodily fluids on it. It's just the oozes that are around, and I don't want to burn myself if I pick it out, to pet my rock. And you think I'm crazy, don't you?
As you sort of say this, you kind of notice like a strange smell as you like pull the rock out of your robe, and you look on the side of the rock, and there's sort of like, what color are your robes?
Shit. This is my regular robes. I think they're brown actually. Yeah.
All right, so there's just a sort of like a brown stain on the side of the rock, and you kind of like smell it, and you look in your pocket, and there's just sort of like a hole burned in the side of the pocket, where all of the sort of fibers mostly melted and now are attached to the rock, complete with a nice smell.
So is that
so-
the robe that goes over the top, and I've got my tunic underneath, sort of thing?
I presume you put it in like your exterior pocket. So she kind of takes a weird look at you. You want to wash your rock?
Oh, I just noticed that my robe's ruined now. Yes. Do you have any washcloth I could borrow or buy off because you don't want to keep it afterwards? That's something.
She kind of like goes out the back and comes back with a rickety looking bucket with some water and like an old rag.
Okay.
Have that.
Thank you. I'll just spend the time washing my rock, I guess.
It takes you a little while
I
to
did
sort
say
of get the
that
gunk
it's going
off.
to be weird. Sorry.
She kind of just like stares at you like eyes agog.
Just wash my rock. It's okay.
It takes you a few
Pay me no
minutes
mind,
to
just
scrape
wash
it
my
off.
rock.
Meanwhile,
Some of the patrons in the bar are just like, what?
Don't mind me.
meanwhile, Roldoff is sitting in his room, like on the bed, just like quietly going. Sure, if Clavicle was here, he'd be able to negotiate with the slime.
Oh
No
man.
No comment. No comment.
Them feels.
Yeah, so it takes a couple minutes, but you manage to wash your rock. Which sounds like a bad euphemism, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll just. I'll give her like 10 silver for the effort.
Okay. Well, she kind of... Thanks. The silver wasn't necessary, but thanks. I consider it a tip.
I'd probably throw out those implements. Only a
Oh,
nice bucket.
sure. Kind of looks at you like you're a fucking just batshit.
It's alright. I'm not staying too long. I'll just go back to my
Don't-
room and put it in.
Don't
my
tell
office.
me. Yeah, alright. So yeah, you walk up back to your room.
Alright, that's it. I just want to clarify that pocket out the rock probably burn into my.
Yeah. Well, like it had like a thick layer of just pocket cloth. But yeah, so long story short, I presume you guys all sort of head to bed without any more shenanigans?
Yep.
Right. So the night is pretty uneventful, like the sort of the sounds from downstairs of people like, drinking lasts pretty long into the night. But almost very dulled down by the fact that it's downstairs and all that. And until it's like almost comforting, like a comforting background kind of roar. You guys have a pretty uneventful and restorative sleep, complete with a good meal, expensive imported beer, and you guys get to sleep in for the most part.
Cool. What time was the meeting at?
Noon.
Let's just not miss it, eh? Because they know us, and we'll miss it. We'll just be sitting there going, "Oh, should we be somewhere? Oh,
We'll be fine.
Mm,
That's
boy.
where is it?
It's like literally next door.
Oh,
okay."
so we can give it a good hour to get there, and then we should be fine.
Well, it's about like 11ish now.
Oh shit!
Like, well, I mean, like by the time you
slept
guys,
in.
yeah, got up, slept in, you know, did your
Uh-oh.
shit, your morning shit. Literally, now that I think about it, you know, blah blah blah. You still haven't had breakfast, mind you.
We'll get a late lunch maybe. Yep. Brenner.
We can snack on oozes.
As we're leaving, Roloff just kind of hands shit, I've forgotten the name. It starts with T, I'm pretty sure.
It is Tappy Foam Strap, believe it or not.
Yeah, Roloff just kind of hands Tappy like 10
Believe it
gold
or
and
not.
says, "We gotta head next door to the Digger Maddox for a war council. Do you reckon you could get one of the girls to like knock us up like a lunch and just bring it over? Just, you know, we gotta run. We don't have time for breakfast. Is that okay?"
I'm not sure we'd be let into the council once it's in session. Wait, did you say a war council?
Raven's
Did
just
he
gonna
say
like
this, Kid
slowly
Hush?
get up and without like looking, just like start walking out of the room. Just like
Maybe bring enough for everyone, and they'll let you in.
Roloff like dumps another.
Wait, I think 10 gold was plenty, man.
10 for like it was a gold per meal and beer last time.
Roloff just like dumps another 20 gold into her hand. And
How
just
much in
says
total?
30 gold.
Alright.
Can I just take back my 5?
No, this is for a meal
What are
pending.
you, George Costanza?
And he goes, oh, maybe, you know, just if you I'll let the guards know as we're going in to expect like a lunch delivery, and I'll ask them to either themselves bring it in or let you bring it in. And you know, when I say war council, like it sounds a bit dramatic. We're just having a bit of a meeting to discuss how to get rid of the slimes. You know, it more of a pest extermination meeting than anything else. It's just, you know, you don't really want to say.
Don't mention the dozens of slimes.
it's like
Gather the pest exterminators for a pest extermination council. You know, you just don't sound like a leader if you say that. Maybe just keep it, you know, a little bit quiet nonetheless.
At this point, she's just kind of like staring at you like, what the hell?
In short, food. Please.
Yeah, I guess. No guarantees that they'll let us in, but okay, if you want to risk it.
Just whistle, you know? If
We'll-
we'll hear
we'll-
it and we'll come out and get the food, we fine.
Yeah,
Oh,
we'll have a word
okay.
to the guards, or, you know, like, don't worry about it. We'll do it.
Let's put
We're
your
gonna be
heads
late.
together and law.
Roloff will
Okay.
rush out the door with everybody else.
Right, I only just caught on what you guys were doing. I thought you were like booking like food for later or something, like for the next
Yes.
night, not ordering a luncheon.
Basically ordering pizzas to the
Jeez.
What
the
council?
Pentagon.
Oh my god.
I could have the 1.25 quote, please. And
Don't forget the garlic bread.
Yeah, boys. Alright, so she kind of like nods dumbly as you guys walk out.
Alright, we'll head over to this meeting.
Alright, this would be a good time for the break though. Like, I know it's a bit early, but this would be a good, like, midpoint.
Okie dokes.
how long's the break for?
I would prefer if we had it like a little bit shorter than normal, like maybe let's say 15-20 minutes. Because like otherwise we might run out of time. Like, what time do you guys think you guys will have to go to bed?
I'll be happy to finish at about 10:30 or 11. So I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'd be looking at as well.
Sorry?
Daddy.
So maybe if we come back at 10 to 9, I'll put on the message.
Yeah.
I think Dottie's gone a bit.
Dottie, if
I think
you
he's
feel
sick.
sick and you're tired, like, if you want to go, I think we're just going to be talking the rest of the night anyway.
No.
Ah, spoilers!
Well, you could probably stay, but just, I understand that you're not feeling well.
I'll let the poor man sleep.
Yeah, that too.
Alright, well, at any rate, let's take that break, shall we?
Or you can just
Alright,
go to bed
so-
with your headphones on, so that way you can keep updated. That was a joke.
About
Oh.
10 to?
I didn't even see you were typing in chat, sorry. Yeah, let's call it 10-2.
Alright.
Yep, just gotta put in
Hope
the
you get better,
message.
Dottie.
Right.
Love you, Daddy. Love you most of all.
Ripper Scratchy will be back at 10 to 9. That's 8:50 Australian time. Thank you.
Luck to you also, buddy. Well... So who's actually not going AFK?
I am. Bye-bye.
Bye, don't fall asleep.
Fuck you, I need to get food!
Bye, don't fall asleep.
Back. Are you there, David? Take that as a no.
Hey.
Hey, B.
Hey. Phew.
Sup?
I'm just mostly pissed off.
At the parents?
No. Telstra and NBN, mostly. So, our internet service at the moment is really shitty. Because apparently, now that the NBN infrastructure is installed, they're not doing, like, regular maintenance to the standard infrastructure. So, you know, I'm getting really crappy, like, internet connections and stuff. Basically all day yesterday, and it wasn't just here, like, it was everywhere, like here in town, Wallaroo, Kadina, like the entire area, had really shitty internet connection, and it got to the point where about 4 p.m. yesterday, everything went offline. Mobile phone service,
Wow.
internet, home phone, like it all just died, and it didn't come back until about midday today.
Huh. Even the mobile.
Yeah, but not completely. So, my mum and my dad, they're both on Telstra for their mobile phones, right? My mum's Samsung, S7, nothing. It had no connection to anything at all. Dad's phone, he had like 1 bar of 4G and intermittent like mobile internet access.
Huh?
But yeah, like the home internet is completely fucked, which was fine. I just ended up playing Stellaris all night. which I've just, you may have noticed, I've still got running in the background. I've just had it paused.
I did.
Which that isn't why I was late. I was late because
That's
like,
alright. No, I understood that.
well,
I'm just gonna very quickly put the kettle on. One moment.
yeah, no worries. I'm really liking these the mega structures and stuff they've added. Because they're like super late game. Well, not super late game, but like I guess it
Fairly
depends.
late game.
Fairly late game. It kind of depends how good you are at like pushing your way through the quote unquote level system.
How good you are at video games.
Yeah. So at the moment, I'm just building one of the galactic wonders called the Sentry Spire,
Okay.
and it's kind of like, so you build the base, and then you build like the next component, and then the next component, and the next component, and it has 4 or 5 stages. Welcome back, Dave. And as you complete each stage, its sensor coverage range gets larger and larger. The final stage, its galactic coverage.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
So I'm building it as close to the like galactic core as I can.
Oh yeah.
And I've got it at stage 2, so it's really only a sort of covering that galactic core. But I'm at war with a lot of the other empires in the galactic core, so I can see most of their fleets at the moment and what they're doing and where they're staging.
Oh, nice, nice. Well, that's convenient.
Yeah, it makes the whole like chasing their fleets down aspect of the game a lot easier.
Yeah. Is everyone back? Liam, are you back? Alright, I'm just gonna get a knife and then I'll be right
I might just refresh my coffee before we get started.
I'm back. Hello.
Oh, hello.
Are we just waiting on Liam or? Take that as a yes, or did everyone go okay?
Dunno.
Oh, everybody else, hello.
Hello, everybody else.
Everyone else was here just like 5 seconds ago. What the hell? Oi! Everybody. Do you like feta cheese?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually like feta on pizzas a lot. And chicken
Oh,
feta.
okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
But if you have too much, it just gets a bit sickening.
Yeah. I suppose it would go well with barbecue sauce to kind of tone it down a bit.
Barbecue sauce.
No?
never have barbecue sauce.
On a pizza?
Nah.
Really?
Nah, I just like the good old basic tomato.
I like barbecue sauce on a pizza. Domino's does it for like more than half their pizzas. What's up there? Quick question, if I may. Are you able to answer?
Who you talking to?
You?
Yeah.
How's progress on that campaign?
Yeah, it's probably
Oh.
about halfway done.
As in, like, not ready for the first session?
Well, it's at the point where I could finish up the rest of it in probably an hour and a half or so.
Oh, okay.
I've got most of the stuff done. So it's, yeah, just fleshing out some stuff, I guess.
Cool.
Mainly just
I was just thinking.
descriptions and stuff.
Yeah. I was just thinking, as soon as everyone gets back, Liam,
Yep,
you're back?
I am back.
Okay. Ryan? Oh god. We meant to be all back like 7 minutes ago.
He said he was refreshing his coffee.
Okay.
How about them decals?
Dick Owls?
Decals.
Like, long story short, I mean, at this rate of progress, we'll probably need, like, another session. Maybe a short one. But at the very most, like, we'll be done in a week.
Yeah.
And so, like, I guess we should figure out whether we're going straight to your campaign, or should we have, like, a week in between, or, like, what's the go? Like, keeping in mind that, assuming if we do have a session next week, it'll be, like, probably a short one, like a half length or whatever.
Yeah, I think Robbie mentioned before, but I'm fine with like a break in between. That would give me a bit more time to sort of get things ready. But yeah, it will be ready to go straight away as long as I have like a week's notice sort of thing.
Well, if you can have it, like, good to go for next week, just in case.
Right. Well, just in case we finish it up tonight.
Well, that, but also if we end up finishing, like, super early next week.
I can just move in, yep.
Because if you only have, like, another half an hour worth of stuff to do next week, then it would seem pretty stupid. Welcome back, Ryan.
Hi. Sorry, I was making my coffee and then Dad got home, so Dad was talking to me.
Should have killed him. Got back to the table. Okay. Alright, we all good to go?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wonderful!
Just screwed up.
Oh, Chrome crashed. Oh, thank you, Chrome. Let me refresh my page. I might be having net issues. Just stand by. Fucking great timing.
Seems like once again the entirety of Australia is having net issues.
Mm.
Hmm.
Oh,
Either that or just Chrome's having a fucking stroke. Yeah, I think it's just Chrome. Maybe it's Firefox, YOLO. Alright. So last off, you guys were approaching the Doom Laptops Hall.
huh?
And indeed, as you do approach, there's like a heavy guard outside. There's maybe a dozen deep gnomes that are standing in 2 ranks of 6, flanking the entrance.
Does one of them look of higher station than the others?
In fact, one of them is Sark Axbarrel, captain of the guard, who you may remember from earlier.
Oh, yes.
Rodolph will walk over to Sark.
He acknowledges you with a sort of a clipped wave as you approach.
How are you doing this morning, Sark?
The expression looks rather grim.
Well, it's good you got here early. In fact, the other attendees couldn't bear to wait until noon either. They're already seated, waiting for you.
Oh, great! And here we were worried about being late, but I suppose we're late anyway. Listen, getting the tavern to bring over a bit of a lunch spread. Would you be able to let them in to set it up all up, or do you have a couple of like junior, maybe like some rookie guards you could task with, bringing the food in when it arrives?
I'm afraid once the council chambers are sealed, no one's allowed in or out until the deliberations are finished.
Alright, so what happens if the deliberation takes several days? Like how do you get food into the council?
Oh, well, you'd adjourn, and then have your meals, and then come back. And,
Okay, so it's not like an entirely sealed until, you reach a conclusion thing. Well, that sucks. I've ordered a whole bunch of food. I didn't know, like you locked the doors entirely.
Well, that was a bit foolish.
He kind of like has a bit of a grin, like that he's just joshing you.
I'm a wizard, not a politician. I don't know how these things work. Listen, alright, so the lunch is gonna get here, Tapsy's gonna bring it over, or one of her, like, innkeeper, worker people. If the food can't come into the council room, then I suppose, maybe just cycle your guards out 2 at a time to have, like, lunch or whatever. I mean, I paid for it, someone may as well eat it. Try and save some for us, though, would ya?
Yeah. So you definitely get the impression that he was joking around with the like that was stupid idea kind of comment. But as far as you can tell, he is being legit with everything else he said so far.
Who legit to quit. So yeah, Rodolph will, that's what he says, and he'll say, I don't know if she'll include alcohol or not, but I suppose since you're technically on duty, don't drink the alcohol.
Well, yeah, that's mighty generous of you. We'll act accordingly.
Yeah, no worries. Suppose we better get inside.
Yeah. Everyone else would be happy to know that you're early as well.
Yeah, that's 30 gold worth of food. I enjoy it. That that's true. Like if it arrives before the council room's been sealed, maybe just grab a bit of food for you and the guards and send the rest in. But how it turns out, it turns out. You know what I'm saying, Suck? Old buddy, old pal.
Sure.
All right, I suppose we better, head inside, guys, and
That'd be a good idea.
roll off. Just kind of like head towards the doors, looking really upset. He was really looking forward to a nice meal.
Alright. As you walk in, you'll notice that the room has been completely rearranged since your last visit. Gone are the many tables and desks, messengers and paperwork. Now the entire room lays bare, save for the stone dais, hosting Dorbo and Senny's stone desk, and a large zirkwood table dominating the center of the room. It is similar to a ring in shape, save for a large wedge cut out on the side opposite the dais. As you walk further in, you find that almost all the space at the table has already been filled, along with one gnome standing in the center space of the table. An awkward silence, perhaps with more than a hint of tension, hangs in the air. While you recognize almost everyone sitting at the table, you don't recognize one male gnome sitting directly on Dorbo's right. The gnome standing in the center of the ring, wearing what appears to be an oversized satin shirt, coloured white and with extensive gold embroidery, waves for you to approach before wordlessly directing you to the remaining space at the table at the edge next to the wedge cutout. There looks to be only enough space for 5 or 6 human-sized people at the most, but luckily a second larger table, complete with seats, sits just a couple of meters behind your empty seats, evidently provided for your myriad companions. Topsy and Toby are waiting for you there.
Yeah, I walk up and take my spot at the table.
I
As long
will
as
too
it's the
do
same.
this.
As you all sit down, the companions sort of figure out their place and sit down behind you guys. As you sit down, the fancily dressed man in the center of the table begins to speak.
Now that you're all seated, I announce this council of war convened. I am the herald for this council, and we shall begin in the customary manner as our tradition dictates. I shall begin from the table edge.
He turns to face your group.
I first introduce Rudolph Gofferboff, Lorne Malvo, Braven Thornhill, Wesley Marsden, and Zoggett, respected guests of Blindenstone. To their right sits Gurnick Tapfinger, head priest of Caladuran Smooth Hands of the Stoneheart Enclave. To his right, I introduce Nomi Pathshutter, apprentice and representative of the Stoneheart Enclave in the absence of Yantha Coaxrock. To her right, I introduce Senny Diggermattock, quartermaster of Blindenstone. To her right, I introduce Dorbo Diggermattock, the chief of industry for Blindenstone. To his right, I introduce Trisk Adamantelpiece of the newly resurrected Borough Wardens. To his right, I introduce Kazuk Pickshine, representative of the Miners Guild in the absence of Daskell Pickshine. And to his right, I introduce Chip Grin.
An awkward pause follows as the herald merely looks towards the rear rat before turning back towards Dorbo and Senny. You may now proceed. The herald swiftly turns and walks out from the table center throughout the gap next to you. Stops at the front of the room where he turns towards the council and watches silently. Meanwhile, Dorbo and Senny both stand. Very well. Before we begin, would our guests like to make any opening statements?
Do any of you guys have anything to say?
Not for the moment.
We're happy to wait and put in our opinion as appropriate from the way the conversation goes.
Well, what I would like to say before we start is I feel it is definitely in the best interest of all parties at this council meeting to find a solution that benefits everyone equally. No one in this room is the enemy today. Today, the enemy is the big fuck-off slime orgy. Sorry for my language, I'm just being frank.
I'm a straight shooter, I say it how it is.
Most of the room kind of frowns slightly at that, but their expressions return to neutral. Dorbo kind of remains standing as Senny sits down. Well, in that vein, most of us already know why we're here, enemies or not. But before we go any further, it's time the were-rat tells us why he is here. Yeah, he remains standing, he kind of leans over his table. Chipgrin, rather than stand, he kind of leans back in his chair. His knees sort of propped up against the underneath of the table as he gets 45-degree lean. He kind of steeples his hands, his big meaty hands together. Well, that's simple. The outlot's about to be overrun by the oozers. But before you start looking too pleased with yourselves, your lot isn't too far behind us. At this point, the male that you don't recognize pipes up. He was introduced as Trisk at a mantelpiece. And just what do you offer, were-rat? The offer's even more simple, The oozers are led by a gnome. Believe it or not, and I know where to find him. I figure he must be the one controlling them. Or at least, luring them out here. We fix him up good, and then we'll probably fix our little ooze problem. Kind of let's that sink in. The terms are simple as well. You promise us our half of Blindenstone, or to our... At this point, Dorbo immediately just goes into a rage. Half of Blindenstone? I was expecting an offer, not an insult. Chipgrin kind of grins with his broken teeth as he leans back even further, if at all possible. Have fun drowning in oozes then, mate.
Rodolph kind of puts his hand up. Look, old mate Chip, segregation isn't going to be a long-term solution. You can't segregate yourselves into little enclaves of deep gnomes and were-rats. At the end of the day, you're all citizens of Blindenstone, regardless of if you just came back recently or if you've been here for years. Stop being competitive, and is there any way you guys can maybe everybody here, both the Dig and Mattox and yourself, just be more accommodating? Let's...
That's easy for you to say. I mean, these guys rock up after we've been living here for decades after the drought, and then they just say, "Oi, this is ours." Nah, mate. They're the ones that are got to be accommodating,
If I
And
may,
besides, we don't mind hanging out with them. Not at
I'll
all.
raise his hand.
Yeah, but first things first, we want to make sure that we can keep our homes without them being invaded in the night by these, upstarts. And then at this point, Senny kind of like surges to her feet to kind of like, yep, Malvo, yep, like points out Malvo. Go on.
Perhaps we could just keep this to the matter at hand, you know. The evil that is rising up, and what we witnessed was, you know, it was jaw-dropping material sort of thing. The mere segregation, these are very minor things compared to what's coming. Maybe you could prove to each other, you know, your trustworthiness, or, you know, the manner of what you do afterwards by, you know, helping protect and defend the land that you share here.
At this point, Chipgreen kind of like leans back forward. See, the thing is, I only got one card to play here, and that's the ace up my sleeve. Soon as I let that go, I don't have anything better than this guy's word.
Can I make a point to all present and happy here? And that's, what have my little group done for you guys in the last few weeks?
At this point, kind of like Dorbo, kind of like strokes his chin a little bit. Well, a lot, but what's your point?
My point is that maybe if you guys weren't so busy killing each other and backstabbing each other, you wouldn't actually need us. See, we're a group of not even 10 people, but we've come here and we work together and we fix the problems. So,
Yeah, well, if the Drow decided to make friendly with us, we would never have a siege in the first place. But that didn't work out, did it?
and it didn't. But are any drows here today?
Because we killed them all.
That's right. What I'm suggesting is that we all work together. Now, it's entirely possible that you guys aren't exactly inclined to trust one another at the moment, and that's, you know, that's natural. That's just people being people. And so, if it would help things smooth out, we can work together to deal with this slime problem, and we can see we're actually all on the same side. You guys all want a Blindenstone that isn't covered in slime. The deal sounds reasonable, as long as it's not building a wall between the two halves of Blindenstone and then just leaving it there.
At this point, like Dorbo says,
I don't care what they do. They can have their own space, but not half of Blindenstone. And as for the wall, I'd welcome it.
At this point, Chip kind of goes,
I wouldn't be opposed myself, but half is the deal.
There will be no walls.
Dorbo kind of goes, Senny kind of goes, well, it sounds like that's what we both want.
It is true, Rodolph. If both parties want it and it's their land, we can't really step in there. But, you know, maybe we can arrange it so, you know, you get equal parts to, you know, as well as ridding the evil sort of thing. What you do in your own land is your business, as long as, you know, people are getting good sides of it.
Well, Mabo, that I would be inclined to agree if their town wasn't just full of slimes, medusas, and hellbeasts. See, the way I see it is that we've come along and we've fixed all your problems. Or at least worked towards them and, like, done some stuff. And again, we're just a group of adventurers. If you guys decided to play nice with each other and not try and backstab and re-backstab and not trust one another, you wouldn't need us. As it is, you do. So we're here. We're on this council. We're the only out... I don't imagine you guys are usually so inclined to have, you know, our kind just sitting on a war council. Seems like it's kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big deal.
But here's the deal. You're asking us to not only give away half of our city, but to open up our backs to being stabbed.
No, I'm asking for you guys to get your entire city back. Because if you guys play nice with one another, it won't matter if one side has half of it, because you'll all be one Blindenstone.
I may as well just ask the drow if I can have half of their capital. And I'd probably trust the offer just as much.
If you don't get half your city, half of Blindenstone, what's the were-rat's plan?
You are addressing Ship Group?
Yeah.
Well, probably to just piss off to wherever we can find. Eventually the oozes have got to disappear, I suppose. Besides, I'm not going to let these deep gnomes kick us out of our own city.
Okay, so you're not opposed to a wall. How much land do you need if you want to have, you know, one section of it? What is your population compared to the normal population of people?
Well, I don't know what the population of these deep gnomes are, but, well, I think we deserve half the city. Suppose we could, well, I suppose we could populate it all. Especially given a generation or two, we'll probably need that space.
That wasn't my question.
What was it then?
How big is your population compared to the population of Blindenstone?
Well, like I said, I don't know what the population of Blindenstone is. And I'm not going to tell this guy until he makes a deal with me anything more about me and my clan.
Alright, from what I know already, would the were-rat population be quite a bit of a minority, or is it sort of growing on a weekly basis?
All you've seen really was like the size of the crowd that met you when you walked into their sort of commons area.
Yeah.
And that was just from what you saw outside, and you would estimate maybe at least 50 just sort of standing there. Plus like all the others that you've seen, maybe up to 100 in total that you've actually seen outside. In Blindenstone, you're looking at maybe 200.
Right.
And that would just be an estimate from the amount of houses that you've seen, the amount of people that you've seen milling around. You know
And
what I mean?
are they free to just walk around? Or are they kind of forced into ghettos?
Well, they control their parts of the city. Like, it's not like the Nazis putting the Jews into the ghettos.
Yeah.
My concern is that's what
to
it's
be
gonna
fair,
be.
though, to be fair though, it is like ruined parts of the city. The parts of the city that basically are on the outskirts that have basically been... Like, if you guys remember the description, it was pretty much like rubble and, yeah, detritus everywhere.
How much?
Kind of a slum.
Is this the leadership structure of Blindenstone to have like a council?
So, I mean, you wouldn't really know at this stage, but you do know that, obviously, Dorbo is considered the chief of industry, and Sunny is the quartermaster, and this seems to be, like, the seat of power, and they're the only two that are regularly here. That's about the most you know.
Okay.
So,
Might I make a alternative suggestion to the wall?
Are you speaking out loud?
Yeah, speaking out loud.
Everyone just kind of looks at you.
See, it seems like everyone's really focusing a lot on the actual land of Blindenstone. And what I'm trying to get at is that there doesn't need to be such, like, binary walls. So how about the were-rats get half of Blindenstone in that they get representation on the council? They get half of the power. They have half the say, they have half the thing. That doesn't mean they get to take half the actual land. They just get representation. They get a say in what happens going forward, which is fair considering that they're actually fighting for the same city that you guys are. And it might be that, you know, from that kind of shared leadership of the city, that there can be you mentioned in a generation that you might take half the city. In a generation, there might not need to be that binary difference. It might just be one Blindenstone rather than this squabble.
At this point, Sunny kind of, like, speaks up. That's a mighty fine dream you have, Mr. Abraman, but I don't think a combined government would work. In fact, Well, we can barely agree on this, let alone the day-to-day runnings of the city. It'd be bad enough giving them half of Blindenstone to do as they please, let alone have them as part of the council. Then next they'll be expecting that they can just waltz in into Blindenstone however they please. At this point, basically the entire council, aside from Chipgrin, just sort of murmur, agreement.
Wait,
At this point, I believe Chipgrin is making the demand that, in return for his assistance and his information, he wants half of the city of Blindenstone, or at least his half of the city. Well, at this point, Chipgrin kind of goes, "Our half, we only control about a quarter. We want everything north." At this point, Dorbo goes, at this point, Dorbo kind of goes, "Half! That's an insult! We demand that we get to keep the house center. You guys can keep whatever slums you already have."
Rodolph kind of hands it up and holds his hand up at this point and says, look, it probably feels a lot to all of you like we're a group of outsiders and we're coming in and we're trying to tell you how to do things. And look, we are trying to tell you how to do things, but our interest, you all know what our interest is. We want to go home, but we wouldn't be satisfied if we walked out of Blindenstone leaving it worse off than it was when we arrived. We're trying to find the best solution for everybody here. So, look, the House Senate, I don't think either party should get that. That should be common ground. That should be a neutral ground where, regardless of what other deal you make, that both the Wereouts of Blindenstone and the Deep Gnomes of Blindenstone have, because it's what's brought you all together into this room and got you sitting down and talking at a table. Getting this structure back from these slimes, it's important to both of your people for whatever reason. Surely you could agree at least on sharing access to this building.
At this point, Dorbo kind of slams his fist again. The House Center is the seat of government of Blindenstone. Its traditions date back hundreds of centuries. Pre-recorded times. It would be an insult to let these were-rats stand around any longer in what is our seat of government. They already held it for the last 50 years. We deserve it. We're rebuilding Blindenstone. You were out there in their slums. From what the scouts tell me, it's even more rubble than when the Drow left it. And you expect us to hand over the House Center, our Capitol building, to these people?
No, I'm not suggesting you hand it over to them. I'm suggesting that you both take shared responsibility and ownership of it. It doesn't, like my friend Braven said, it doesn't have to be a black or white solution. There's middle grounds which can be achieved if you guys are just willing to try it out, you know? There's a degree of trust that needs to be built, and hopefully that trust will be built and you'll be able to work things out as you go forward. But that trust is never going to have a chance to develop if you just build walls between each other and put your heads in the sand. You know, ignore the... I don't...
Fine words, young. Fine words, old wizard. But here's the thing. When you've been fighting these guys for 20-odd years,
You can't expect me to just make an agreement that'll last for potentially decades, be 100 years, without that trust already being in place.
Okay.
Trust is a gradual thing.
If I may I put it
I'm not gonna
plainly-
sign over half the city.
May I put it plainly for you, sort of thing? Okay, if you walk away here and you say no to everything, you'll get nothing, sort of thing, and you'll get less than nothing if you just move away and don't agree to anything. If you just want one thing and that it's like a huge thing that no one's ever going to give you, you get nothing in the end. But if you know, have a little bit of sort of a movement in your offer and your deal, say you want a third or something, or a bit less, just be reasonable with your offer. If you aim's too big, you'll end up with nothing. Might add thing. You are a minority. The only way you'll get what you want is through bloodshed, and we just want you to avoid that. We can't make the decision for you, either of the parties, but you need to make each party a better offer. Otherwise, no one gets anything, and this evil is gonna kill us all.
I'd just like to add to what my good friend Malvo was saying. Just on the end of what my good friend Malvo's saying is, we're sitting here trying to tell you what to do, but at least we're trying to appeal to your sense of what's right and what's wrong. This faceless lord, and Rodolph does the air quotes as he's saying this, I don't think he's going to give any of you a chance. And I think if he's allowed to get a foothold, he's not going to be content just driving you out of Blindenstone. I mean, I personally haven't encountered that many demons, but are they usually content with just taking over a city and then sitting in the city, or do they kind of start to try and take over, everything?
Give me an intimidate check.
Mine was verging on intimidation as well, but I didn't call it out. Yeah. Because persuasion is higher.
Alright, so all the parties involved are just kind of silent. Chipgrin and Dorbo kind of share a tense silence as they stare each other down.
As they're staring at each other, Rodolph just says, "Demon Lord."
Senny kind of just quietly mumbles, "Yes, I think we got that."
Just let it sink in, though.
At this point, Dorbo kind of, you can see like the muscles in his jaw kind of clench as he speaks through his teeth almost. Very well. I will make a counter offer to Chipgrin. You can have all the outskirts by the house center. Chipgrin kind of settles back on his chair once more. You can see the look on his face is like deeply unsatisfied. Kind of like taps his long, misshapen nails on the table very loudly, as there's sort of just this tap like echoing through the room. Dead silence otherwise. He turns to the party. And what does our honored guests think? Are you guys willing to make a gambit that I'll take this offer?
It would be wise to take this offer. You'll get no better.
It's not what you initially asked for, Chipgrin, but it's a beginning, and it's
official.
It's an invitation to the party. It's a good foundation to build future relationships on and future deals on. And it is legitimately my hope that if you accept this deal, and you and your Werats and the Deep Gnomes of Blindenstone take time to stop viewing each other as adversaries, that you'll find a more enriching and beneficial uh, common ground, and that you'll be able to work together to make Blindenstone a great city of the Underdark again, like from everything that I understand it once was.
Give us
And
a persuasion.
oh, oh yes, I mean my persuasion isn't any better than my intimidation, but
Oh, that's pretty good.
yes.
That's decent.
Flowery words from the flowery man. Yeah. You're lucky. You're lucky, Mr. Digger Mattock. I quite like my humble hobble. And, although I don't like the idea of having to be neighbours with you, I definitely don't like the idea of swimming in ooze every day either.
There were quite a lot of ooze.
Very well. At this point, Torbo kind of mutters under his breath, and in the otherwise stark silence of the room, you hear him kind of mutter, "Damned if I do, damned if I don't." Very well,
Rodolph just
Chipgrin.
gives him like a "that's right" sort of nod.
Very well, Chipgrin. If you keep to your side of the walls, we shall keep to ours. But, as I said, we reserve the right to reclaim our seat of government. And I don't care if we have to leave and reclaim Blindenstone a second time. Chipgrin kind of leans back forward and puts his elbows on the table, kind of like pulls his hands into fists. Good enough then. Here's the details then. He slips out a folded sheet of parchment, which appears to be a folded map on one side, while having sort of crude notes scrawled across the opposite side. He passes them up to Dorbo, reads it along with the guy beside him, tryst at a mantelpiece, before flipping it to the other side. And once he skims it, he passes it down to his wife, who once again skims it over and passes it along, until the sheet eventually reaches the party. When it does, you quickly scan the contents. In short, it details the basics of the were-rat's observations of this Pudding King, and how he appears to be a sort of a sickly-looking gnome, appearing to command oozes, even to attack, when were-rat patrols have just happened to stumble into it. The map portion shows many of the original tunnels in and around Blindenstone. It's at this point that you kind of realize that this is a map of the original Blindenstone, including areas beyond the Oozefield House Centre that you returned from yesterday. A crude X has been scrawled over a smallish cavern in the far rear, connected to the rest of the system by a main entrance from a large cavern just beyond the house centre. So the main entrance looks to be right beyond the house centre through a large cavern. But there's also a maze of smaller side tunnels on the opposite side. The X is annotated Pudding King, but you notice that pudding has been spelt with only one D. Once you guys are sort of, absorb all the relevant information, everyone's just sort of like waiting for you. Dorbo notices you're done, and he sweeps his hand from one side of the table to the other. Any suggestions on a plan of attack? At this point, I'm going to let you guys discuss. I'm going to visit the gents. Sorry, I just need a bio break.
Oh, attack.
That's what he said.
Gotta kill the
I'll be
Pudding
back.
King.
I'll be back.
The Pudding King.
The Pudding King must die.
Wait, so what map? Is the lines on the current map?
Uh,
Or is that the border for That's the border for the deal.
Yeah.
A proposed border.
Right. So
It's in that top like right corner somewhere. I'm sure Alex will maybe reveal it for us when he gets back.
plan to kill the pudding king. I don't
Bring
know.
all the forces.
I think maybe if we can like see with the were rats if they know like a back entrance into it that maybe we could use, and then we could have like the deep knowns and like some of the were rats like.
As a distraction, whilst we, being the spearhead, go in and cut the head off the snake.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's still a whole fuckload of puddings in one room. Can we make them scatter somehow? Maybe we get them to draw out, like you know, like you said, with the distraction to kill the pudding king. But there's still a clump of how many puddings were in there?
Yeah, but like if they're under the control of this
No, I'm not
guy,
actually asking how many puddings were in there. Was it like 2 dozen, or did he say like several dozen? If it's several dozen, then we've got a lot of puddings. Pudding cups.
I'm guessing it'll be a lot of puddings, yeah.
he doesn't. He didn't specify it. Like the entire room was just covered in like a pulsating mass of like different colored slimes.
Yeah.
So like honestly, if there's like a back way we can go in,
Yeah.
kind of what my hope is that they're being drawn there by like some enchantment or something that this pudding king guy has, and that if we kill them, they'll just kind of like maybe not all fuck off straight away, but at least kind of like not be a large coherent slime orgy as I
Well, they
refer
wouldn't
to it as.
be commanded anyway.
Just something I might add, because this might be a little bit relevant. When we heard the voice, I'm just gone back up to read it again.
Yeah.
It did say, "I'll call upon thee," and blah blah blah, to announce glad tidings of the faceless Lord to come at the proper time.
Yep.
So what does that mean? Like, for people to come at the proper time. So they're kind of like he's expecting people to come for something.
Well, it's kind of just like saying, like, when my lord is here, then like I will summon you, sort of thing. Like,
Yeah, it seems a bit iffy. Because, yeah.
Well, to me, by the way it's described, the pudding king isn't like the faceless one. That's
no,
Oh
he's
yeah,
just
yeah,
like
of course.
He's like the pudding master, so he's probably trying to use the puddings to summon his fucking demon lord or something. I don't know, but
Yeah, I'm
it's a
just
bit-
worried, like, just on the terms of, like, just like my original thing was like, oh, let's use them as a distraction. Maybe that's a really bad thing, because they're pretty much, like, sending them all to them. And that might be part of, like, their sort of scheme or something to, I don't know, maybe the puddings will take over the people or something. I'm not sure. Just a thought.
It's not the people to come at the right time. It's the faceless lord in the context of that sentence. Faceless
Oh,
lord to come
okay.
at the
I'm
right
probably,
time.
getting...
Yeah. So it's so he can summon his lord at the right time, probably to kill us all. In terms of plan of attack, it's I don't know. It's difficult.
I mean, yeah, I think if we can find out from the were rats if there's like some back channel way we can
yeah,
get
if
to,
anyone
to
know, it'll be them.
and then like we just delve
Oh,
in
yep,
there,
I see. Yep, I've read it
And-
properly now.
stabby, and then like, yay.
Yeah, I
What
also
I'd really
think...
love to do is just cause the cave-in and that whole section to be stone.
Oh dear. They wouldn't like that very much.
They wouldn't know, but they're probably gonna die if we don't do something like that.
But I think my original plan of like using troops as a distraction, like the main force, to keep them occupied, then the leader's like, oh look, that's where they all are. And then we, like, whoever said sneak around the back, if there is a passageway, to go in and, yeah, fuck him up.
So the choke point is where Roldos the cursor is now. It looks like there's a path up north. Path up to the...
Yeah, I'm kind of
East
hoping
as
maybe like there
Yeah,
are ways that we
yeah.
even
get there
one
from up there?
right east, and there's one down southeast as well. That's a cave in there, so it's possible there might be more cave-ins. It looks like there's a fair amount of routes there. It's just what actually swings round is the question. That's been explored mostly. I mean, yeah, that looks all caved in to the bottom right. There's no route that looks like that goes up there. So probably top and around, I'd say. Yeah, so we
Up
might just have
towards
to
where the
either
were-rats were.
go around, yeah. We could possibly scout or something too. Or basically just ask the people who live there. But yeah, I'm gonna make sure my spells are right. I was in the process of preparing them when we went there. That is concentration. I mean, the other thing is, because I've got so much time,
Sorry about that.
I could do one of those magic trap things. Glyph of warding. Put that at the door.
And is that like it gets triggered once and it's done, or is it like?
Yeah. That's it.
Alright, so what did I miss?
So since we've seen like a map, would it be possible for you to maybe reveal?
Yeah, one moment. Let me clear some things. Alright, huh? So you know, shape of the tunnels are roughly like so. The big X is in this cabin here.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, that there's sort of a cabin like in this direction here. Oops. I can't really show you on the map because it's like hard baked into the image.
Yep.
Like, too many details, but suffice to say, it's a pretty simple shaped cabin. Just think of it like as a roughly round shaped large cabin.
Alright, so are you guys okay with the idea of like the
Distraction in the center with the...
On the old map,
Circle.
I should correct myself. On the old map, that large cabin that I just mentioned, it is labeled Roth Pen, and that's like you would know from Overworld, like farming Roth. So basically, think of them like bison or oxen or whatever that people farm above ground for food. If that makes sense. So that's what that's labeled, but yeah.
So yeah, you guys are good with the suggestion of like the distractionary force and then the sneaky beaky backdoor action?
Yep. Well, that sounds good to me.
Sounds decent.
Now, do we want to split up, or are we going to stay as a group and let, just say, soldiers make the distraction?
I think it's definitely best if we all maybe like send our companions with the soldiers, quote unquote, to give them a better chance of like not dying.
How does that work?
Well, I'm going to assume our companions who have like levels are probably going to be more proficient fighters than like, Blindenstone might have 50 guards, you know?
How does the combat work if it's like in two separate places at once?
Well, we wouldn't be involved, so Alex would deal with it, like,
Oh, you mean our companions just... Yep, okay. So
Yeah,
we're not
yeah,
actually
like-
controlling them.
Darendil and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
so it would be handled however Alex decides to handle that.
Oh,
like,
that's risky.
do
Come back
rolls
and
or something.
Darendil's just blob.
Alright, so Rodolph is gonna, like, looking at the piece of paper, he's going, and, like, the party's just kind of, like, been discussing it quietly among themselves for a minute or so, and then Rodolph's gonna say, what I propose is, with the help of Chiptooth and maybe, if he's got a
Chip Grin.
Chipgrin, if he's perhaps got a were-rat who is willing to guide us through the back tunnels of old Blindenstone, perhaps we could sneak through the tunnels to this cavern where the Pudding King is, and kill him, while perhaps together some were-rats and some guards of Blindenstone and our own companions, and Rodolph will motion to, like, Darendil and Topsy and Turvy and Eldith and stuff. Those of them who are willing, we can't order them to, but if any of them are willing to create a diversion at the house center, just so that all the slimes don't come rushing and overwhelm us while we're dealing with the Pudding King.
At this point, Torbo kind of nods.
That's funny. I was thinking the same thing. Only, I propose that we all attack through the tunnelway past the steadfast stone. See, the narrow tunnels will let a main force more easily hold a safe line of passage open for that smaller assault team to hit that Pudding King in his lair. It'll take some time for us to clear the rubble blocking the tunnel at the steadfast stone, but
At this point, Kazoo kind of raises his hand.
if I may interrupt, I can create an alchemical concoction that'll blow the obstruction into dust. That is, if the quartermaster could spare me the materials.
Senny kind of nods. Done.
On the bright side, we won't be hurting for weapons. That caravan shipment from Gracklester should hold up against those corrosive oozes much better than our own weapons can, and, well, we'll have plenty of Durgar bolts to send at them, too. It's a shame that caravan from the Neverlight Grove is so late. Otherwise, with all the fungi from there, I probably could have made protective oils for the assault squad, too. But if...
Sorry, is it okay? Do you have any ideas? I can put a magical trap down, and when they come in proximity, it will blow up a large radius, doing terrific damage. But do you have any ideas where a good point on the map would that be?
It'd be difficult until we get onto the other side of the obstruction.
It takes quite a while to put down, that's all I'm saying.
That would be very difficult then. For one matter, it could create a collapse in the tunnels. For another matter, the plan, from what I understand, is that we have to attack them rather than lure them to us.
Maybe you can place the trap sort of behind us as we're going in to deal with the Pudding King, so that if any slimes get past the blocking force, we have a bit of early warning before, they get to us.
Yep. You mean if they try and flank us?
Yeah, or, everybody else dies. Not sitting character.
Yeah, maybe I just won't use it. I mean, it seems like pretty much if anyone touches it, they'd be dead. And also, I just forget it anyway. I don't have enough money to do it. Yep. Alright.
Garbage.
It's too expensive for the spell.
You really want to use it,
I
don't
do,
you?
but it costs 200 gold pieces, and I don't have that.
Oh,
Mm.
It's pricey.
it'd be so worth it, though.
It's like
If you ever got a moment.
68, I think.
And how many would it hit,
It's
conceivably?
10 feet radius. It's fairly big.
Let me see how much gold I have.
No, it's fine. Like, I need a diamond basically to do it.
Alright, so these guys want to go in from the warding stone and remove that rubble over here.
The steadfast stone, yeah.
Which one's this
Yeah.
one? Oh yeah.
Yep.
Which
Yeah, that's a good idea because then you have to go up all the way north. What's this token here?
1 minute. Which one?
Oh, it's just like a water token thing.
Oh, Oh, I don't know. I think I may have just been practicing with like, the dungeon thing that we bought, you know?
Oh yeah.
1 minute. Oh, what have I done?
So we intending to sort of split and attack in 3 separate packs in the tight tunnel sort of thing, like here,
no. So
just one tunnel.
I think what the idea is now is, so like the Blindenstone guards and the were-rats will kind of like come with us, and they'll kind of like do a blocking thing, like, you know,
Yep.
so that we can get to where the Pudding King is, like, and kill him.
Yep.
So
Without,
they're just cutting off all the tunnels so then the users can't get to us.
yeah,
In nice little tight spaces. Yeah.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. Yeah. So it's like less space to cover. So it's not like, you know, the original plan sent them all in there and it's like they'll be really spread out.
Seems like a good enough plan, eh? Should we get to it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Rodolph's just gonna like, like on the map, he's gonna scribble like a line there, and a line there, line there, and then he's gonna hand the piece of paper back to Dorbo or Grin, whichever one seems interested in taking it.
Dorbo kind of like holds his hand out for it.
Rodolph hands it to him.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Rodolph nods and says, "Not senile all the time."
Rodolph, you're not wearing any pants.
Rodolph doesn't like do anything, but after a second he just like glances down quickly.
Okay, so, you know, he kind of like observes the lines for a little while. Dorbo kind of, after a little while, just goes,
Any other input?
after
We haven't been able to like figure out where that Ogremock Bane is coming from yet. Best we could determine, it seemed to be wafting through from the same section of the city that we're going to be fighting in. So just let everybody involved know, you know, just to be careful because, you know, the Ogremock Bane might just waft out of the wall or something.
What does it do again? I've completely forgotten.
it essentially corrupts all of the stone elementals that they summon, that they use
and we were like kind of fighting those stone statues inside it for a while, weren't we? And sort of nothing really horrible happened to us. Like we
Strictly
didn't.
speaking, it came out after you defeated the stone statues, and you felt that it was very malevolent, but no, it didn't really
I gave
harm
me
you
a
too
mild
much.
case of food poisoning.
Savage. Absolutely savage.
That's
Truly.
what explained it.
Truly the evilest of clouds.
Yeah, just
So
felt
yeah,
queasy.
you know,
God,
Rod's gonna say. So you know, in the off chance that any of you do have like elementals under your control, maybe don't bring the elementals. If you do notice a green cloud kind of wafting towards you, don't be alarmed. Just maybe don't stand in it. Don't breathe too deeply.
At this point, Nobi kind of pipes up.
But with the summoning circle at Entomoc's boon available, the Stonehound Enclave can provide strong earth elemental support for both parts of the attack.
At which point, Gurnik Tapfinger, that's the priest guy.
Aren't you forgetting that Ogomok's bane still lurks out there? Any elemental brought to the battle runs the risk of being driven insane. Well, unless you have any bright ideas about how to solve that issue, well, that's just the risk we'll have to brave then, won't we?
Gurnik simply looks at her impassively as his only response. At this point, Trisk kind of gone.
I don't know much about elementals and summoning them, or you know, like if like they're flat packs and you kind of put them together and then like imbue them with magic. But could you maybe like enchant some sort of like kill switch into them? Something that like you know is there, and if they get corrupted, you can kind of like click your fingers and they like explode.
Do you ask this out loud?
Yeah, I sure do ask this out loud.
That's amazing.
Nomi just kind of stares at you like, what? No, it's not that simple. Commanding an elemental that you still control, that's one thing. You can dismiss them virtually instantly, but once it goes insane and it doesn't obey your commands anymore, well, you need more powerful spells. Banish Elemental, for instance. That's a powerful spell.
it is. Now,
Yeah, but
don't you think that's a bad idea, having an insane stone elemental that you don't have control over?
Well, yes, of course, but
So,
also problem. Our elementals can deal damage to the oozes without being damaged in turn by their acid. Meanwhile, all of our forces, well, you ever seen a body decomposed in ooze?
not personally, no. I've seen weapons.
So hang on. So
For the record, you've seen multiple skeletons inside oozes, just FYI.
There's that old friend in the ooze. That was
your elementals, they don't take damage from the slime.
Well, not from the acid, that's for sure.
How autonomous are these elementals? Like how like do they have to be in close proximity to their master? Can they kind of like, you know, like how far away can they get from you?
Well, it depends, really. You either need to be trained in how to handle them, or we do have a very limited number of stones that we use for novices to control them, mostly for industry and such. We could lend you one.
No. Kind of what I'm thinking is, if there's a concern that these elementals might go insane, but they're fairly powerful and fairly resistant to slime, would it be possible for you to just give them the order to just charge in as deep as they can into the housing center with the order to just destroy the slime, and if they go insane sort of when they're there, or you know, far away from your forces, at least they're not going to just turn around straight away and the first thing they see is you and your, you know, your combat buddy.
Well, we certainly would have them on the front line, but having them charge into the middle of the oozes, well, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Dorbo,
Kind of like glances at him.
would be kind of pointless. Even if they manage to fight a whole bunch of oozers really good, all that's gonna do is leave them away from where we need them when the rest of the oozers attack our forces in order to get to you guys in the tunnels.
Alright, well, perhaps the best thing to say at this juncture is we will leave the usage of elementals which could potentially go insane and start killing your forces up to your best judgment. If you think that it's the benefits outweigh the risks, absolutely go for it. If we don't die trying to kill this Pudding King, we'll definitely try and help you, with any of the oozes that are left over.
At this point, kind of Triska, interrupts once more. There is one other way. Kind of like looks you in the eye.
Yes, what is this other way?
He pauses dramatically. Rally the dead themselves to our side. Before he can continue, Gurnik Tapfinger kind of like slams his old hands on the table.
The spirits of the dead are not to be trifled with. Even with your youth and inexperience, you should know that. Proclaiming yourself the new Borough Warden doesn't grant you the wisdom of one right then and there.
Which Trisk replies, Listen, old man. I have spoken with the spirit of the previous Borough Warden. That's right. Yadgar himself. Can you make that claim? I say we summon his spirit and ask for help. Have the outsiders find the body of a restless spirit to bury, while the rest of us prepare. The right funeral rites, and guarantee you Yadgar will appear and help us. Oozes can't harm what doesn't have physical body.
Let's get no return of the king over here. Should we just go and kill that Pudding King and let them sort out everything else? Dead, alive, what's the difference?
I mean, you wanna, and Roloff is saying this out loud, you want us to find the body of a restless dead guy?
Do we even have time for that?
Dorberg kind of speaks up.
Well, the Taurus will hold for at least another month even, perhaps. I don't see why not.
Well, I mean, the whole he's trying to summon a demon lord thing kind of makes me feel as though time isn't exactly on our side, even if the doors can hold out against the slime for a month. If he summons this demon lord tomorrow, I mean,
a successful attack in a week is better than a failing attack today. Then again, I must concur with Gurnik. This is not a task I would relish.
Rodolph's just gonna think for a moment, and he's gonna look at the rest of the party and go, I mean, Harmon Cost wasn't that bad a guy. I mean, I know.
Fine. It's not the fact that he's raising the dead. That's perfectly normal. What we've seen. It's more.
For the record, he's not raising the dead per se. He's just rallying the dead. You know how you guys have already seen spirits?
Oh, okay, like right sort of things.
It's still necromancy at the end of the day.
It's not there.
No.
But okay,
Anyway,
whatever.
it's out of our way, and it means that the battle is postponed for a while. I decided to kill a Pudding King because I like pudding. So I don't
Yeah.
pudding to try and melt me.
I'm going to agree with my friend Malvo here, Mr. Burrowmaster. It sounds like a good idea, and the old Burrowmaster, I'm sure he's just a top-notch bloke. And if you wanna search around and find a corpse somewhere to perform your proper burial rites on and try and get that help, I mean, go for it. But I think we're gonna prefer some direct action here. Like, I fireballs, lightning bolts. Doggett has a really big hellbred. Like, look at that thing.
Fireballs and lightning bolts that we already know aren't effective against most oozes. But have it your way, outsiders. Have it your way.
We have other tricks up our sleeves. The sleeve of wizard.
Rodolph's just gonna like look at him and go, "You're not gonna be one of those people who becomes a problem later on, are you?" Like, the way you said that just then, I don't know, like, can I insight check him to see if he seems like he's out Emperor Palpatine or something?
You can check if you wish. Do an insight, of course.
This will be interesting.
So you just kind of get the impression that he's like a little bit bitter that you've like turned down his suggestion, and also that he's not impressed with you guys. Like, as opposed to, you know, most of the people that have been fairly respectful towards you, even Chipgrin, whose only like experience of your battle prowess has been like killing a couple of his like thugs or whatever.
All right, so
I
he's
do
basically
just,
like
like,
with sleight
impressed.
of hand to make Rodolph's voice really high pitched.
so he's basically like an entitled edgelord. Is
Well,
what you're
I don't know
saying.
about entitled edgelord, but he's not impressed with what you're saying. He's young, by the way. He's quite young. You
sorry.
get the impression he's a little bit
I
arrogant.
heard you, I meant to say.
Are you actually gonna do that? You want?
It's
Now's-
not
now's the
gonna do
time.
anything.
Nah, don't. I wouldn't worry about that. Rodolph's gonna like look at him and say, "You're an entitled edgelord." That's not a
Wow.
good thing.
I think he's just a bit put out. They didn't want us to go right out of our way to go summon up more attack things when he could have fucking done it himself. But, you know, other than that. So, it's sort of he's a bit put out that we're not doing it for him.
Yeah,
That's bad.
and this is still in character. It's like you can't really be bitter at people for not wanting to go track down a corpse for you, buddy. Like,
Yeah, you could have told us like 2 days ago that you needed this done.
I did not know that there was such a threat 2 days
Say that
ago.
out loud, but yeah.
Huh. Alright, well, he
Now,
kind
he's
of like
thinking that, but he's not saying it out loud.
he kind of bristles at your words, but before he speaks, kind of Gorbo like just sort of not pats him on the shoulder, but like holds his shoulder back.
right. So, how long do we need to prepare these explosives to clear the blockage and the troops to do the stuff and, you know, any of the other stuff?
Everyone kind of looks to Kazuki and he goes, well, I could have it ready by tomorrow morning. And Torbo kind of leans forward. The guard can be ready by tonight. And
Good, good.
Shipgrin goes, my boys will be ready whenever you need them.
Good, good. Thank you very much for your willingness, everybody, to come together to deal with this. One quick thing before we continue. Does anybody here have any spare spell gems which aren't super glued to a wall that they would be willing to lend me?
I thought you were going to ask, does anyone here have a brass brazier?
I was waiting for that.
So many sessions.
I was actually waiting for that.
You need to invent a porta brazier. And
Well,
just-
I think that's what I'm gonna do the next time we get to like a civilized city. Just literally have some guy like custom build like a pocket brazier.
It's gonna be like an old school 90s and 80s gangster where it's just on a chain. It's a huge sort of brazier around your neck.
That's gonna be
almost
like
yo 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 yo.
it's gonna be like this time next year, and you'll be still asking people, "Do you have a brazier?"
Nah, Rodolph will find a temple to desecrate before then.
Oh dear.
Anyway, so yeah, he's like gonna look at like everybody, like just dead serious. Their spell gem, any quality, multiple if you've got them.
Can you give me a persuasion with advantage?
Cool. Likes the cut of your jib.
Well, I think by this point it's like a small favor to ask, considering A, the situation, and B, what you've done for the city. So,
Or
alright.
20.
It's
Not
a
a
bit
natural 20.
good.
Yeah. Alright. So Nomi kind of pauses. Yes, I think I might have one spare. But alternatively, what I was planning to give you is a fair bit stronger. Like I said, these stone elementals of ours, mighty handy, especially in the salt force. You could probably use someone to distract oozes or whatever up there. I was planning to give you a stone of control elemental.
Do you have any more stones of elemental?
Is this an either or situation? Like, can we get the Stone of Control Elemental and a blank spell gem? Or are you gonna use the spell gem to control the elemental?
Well, we were planning to use our small reserve of soul gems, rather spell gems, in the battle. Like I said, we only have I think maybe 3 or 4 in total, and well, most of them are personal possessions of us in the Stoneheart Enclave.
Do you have any additional stone golem control rocks?
We just have the one to spare.
I mean, if
Can I please have the rock?
Wow,
A Braven says this kind of almost pleadingly to like mainly rolled off, and Malfoy just like, can I please?
I don't even want it. I'm gonna walk away at this point. It's like
Roldoff's gonna like
stop talking about the
pat a
fucking
Braven like
soldiers.
gently on the shoulder and be like, a Braven was never given like a pet when he was a kid. He has pet abandonment issues.
Make sure you give him a manual with that.
Do I need to have like a magical proficiency or anything like that? Like, is
Go
it?
through a 5-hour training course in order to control the
If it's an either or, I suppose we will take the gem of control elemental to appease my good buddy a Braven here. But
I've wanted this for so long.
if you can find, if anyone can find it in their hearts to lend us a spare blank spell gem that I could imbue with some of my own magic for my teammates, I feel that would go a long way to ensuring our success against this pudding king.
Just one moment. Let me look at inventories, so to speak. Double check. Blah blah blah. Blah blah. Yeah.
Would it be this is out of character? Would it be the sort of thing that once we kind of just looking at the time, would it be fair to say that once we're kind of ready to begin the battle, that's when we'll finish? So then Dodd can be around for the climactic battle.
That would probably be the way to go, yeah. I'll do like the intro sequence for the battle. But one moment. So here's the deal. So there's a stone of controlling earth elementals, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that you can basically hold onto. And do you want to do an Arcana check?
Excellent.
So a stone of controlling earth elementals is a rare item, and rare not as in like, oh, that's a gem, rare as in rare for a magic item. If the stone is touching the ground, specifically on the stone, you can use an action to speak its command word and summon an earth elemental as if you had cast the Conjure Elemental spell. The stone can't be used this way again until the next dawn. The stone weighs 5 pounds. And I can send a screenshot of it for you next semester, next session.
The control stone weighs 5 pounds.
Pardon me, say again?
The control stone weighs 5 pounds, did you say?
It weighs 5 pounds. The fucking large stone.
Could I ask a question?
Yeah,
We have 2 small pristine diamonds worth 100 gold each.
that's true.
Let's say 200 gold worth of diamond here.
That's true.
If I were to trade those, or if I crushed them up, would that be equivalent of having powdered diamond that's worth 200 gold pieces for that spell?
Yep, if you got 2 diamonds worth 100 each and then powdered them, which wouldn't be too difficult to do.
Yeah.
Diamonds are pretty easy to shatter. You could easily make 200 gold worth of diamond powder.
Does anyone mind if I do that?
Nah, I'm fine.
Not at all. That's
Alright, well, I'm gonna take those 2 out. Who was the trader person that piped up before? You know, the
Kazook Picture or Nomi. Which one?
someone was asking for materials and she was like done or something.
Yeah, so that's Seni Digger Matok. She's the quartermaster that you've been talking to alongside Dorbo.
Alright. Is it okay if I ask her?
What do you want to ask?
Look, I need to make this spell. It's a trap sort of spell. You put it down. It takes a while for me to, mark the spot and make sure it's attuned to the right magical energy. But it takes like diamond powder, and I don't have any, but I have these diamonds. Could you possibly trade me if you have that?
Why don't you just crush the diamonds yourself?
Oh, I just thought if you already had some, if you wanted full diamonds, we could just do a swapsies, but I can crush it if you don't have any.
I'm afraid I don't have any powdered diamond in our inventory. We would simply be crushing the diamonds, the whole diamonds that we have.
Okay. Is there a fee for that? I mean, it's for this fight, saving your city, nothing at all, but yeah.
I'm sure Kazook could do that for you in but a moment.
Alright, well, thanks for your help. I'll go
My
ask her.
pleasure.
Hey, can I crush these diamonds, Kazook?
Yeah, sure, I can do that while I'm waiting for the other reagent to cook.
Yeah, that's something to do,
Do you need them by tomorrow morning?
How long does it take to crush them?
Wow, it'll take me 5 minutes, but I mean, you want to follow me back to my lab, or do you want me to give it to you in the morning?
That would be weird. It takes a while to make the trap, so I wouldn't mind it shortly if that's alright. Half an hour, okay?
Sure, after the meeting?
Why not? Do you have any incense, by any chance?
Yes, I'm sure we have a little bit of left.
Cool, thank you. I wouldn't mind some of that as well. I give him a gold for his trouble.
No worries. If it's towards the battle, consider it a donation.
Okay. No worries, thank you.
now. Anyway,
So as you finish that conversation, Nomi kind of pipes up. She like obviously mentions that what she was planning to give you was a stone of controlling earth elementals. But what I can do is, well, summon an elemental myself, hand control over to you, and then give you the stone of controlling earth elementals to use as a backup or in your future. Consider it a gift.
A Braven at the idea of the gift peaks up more and just starts just nodding slowly, like a small child who's been given like the exact thing he wants for Christmas and he's too happy to process it. So
Alternatively, I think I might even have a jade spellstone. Well, strictly speaking, it's not mine, it's Yantha Coke's rocks, but in her absence, I guess it's up to me to, well, do what I want, I suppose.
I mean,
Kind of gives you like a sly grin.
if it's an either-or situation where it's either the control stone for the elemental or a jade spellstone, I mean, look at this face. Rolled off like motions toward Raven. I would really like a spell gem But I think if we don't give Braven the control elemental stone, he will murder me in my sleep.
Either way, you'll have the elemental during the battle.
Let's we'll take the control elemental stone. Thank you very much.
Very well. I'll have it ready for you on the eve of the battle.
Alrighty, a Braven will take collection of it. If whoever drops it off takes a moment to instruct him how to use it correctly. Is there any other business we have to talk about before, we adjourn?
I think that's it.
As long as we know what time we're meeting him and the place and everything.
So, there's a bit of a brief silence, and then Dorba kind of goes, "Very well. We meet at dawn tomorrow morning. At the Steadfast Stone. Kazook, I expect you to have your concoction ready to go. Meeting adjourned." Kind of like slams his fist on the table. Everyone sort of like begins to get up.
Yeah, Rodolph will get up and head.
Sorry, just a metagun question before we move on. How do we know when it's dawn? Because I think we may have brushed over like how you keep track of time down here, because we're in the Underdark. It's not exactly a cock crowing or.
So,
the sun
generally
rising.
speaking, like in the city itself, it's kind of easier to keep track because just the amount of people out on the street or whatever. There's also just like your body clock. Also,
we
like
to like 10:30 or 11 or something. So
sure, but I mean like roughly speaking. Some people in the Underdark keep mechanical clock pieces. Like if you recall, what was her name? The Caravan Master in Gracklester.
yeah.
She had a mechanical piece that looked like it was like Duergar engineering. Other people use perhaps magical timepieces if they're particularly rich or whatever. So there's various ways to keep track of time. It's just that you guys haven't particularly found one yet.
I'm thinking of a big sort of flavour moment that I would just not do because of the time, but I would very much like to seek out one of those mechanical clocks. But yeah, anyway,
Sure.
I will just head back with everyone else.
Alright,
As we're leaving, do I see our fucking food? Roldoff's fucking food. Where's my fucking food?
Forgot about that.
So by this point, like the deliberations have gone on for like a solid hour or so. The guards are at the front. There's sort of like just a small pile of like basically just straight up plates that are covered in like a cloth on the ground, and it's just off to the side. And Stark is not there, but like one of the guards kind of points and goes, "Oh, I think that's for you."
Thank you. Roldoff will walk over and like pull the cloth off to inspect what's there.
So the food's cold by now, but it's all there.
Oh, yum.
Eat some cold food.
Does it look okay?
It looks fine.
Been there for like a couple of hours.
Just
At a
checking.
cursory glance.
Could have like all bugs and stuff in it.
Nope, no bugs.
So we're probably eating bugs.
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
probably what the food is.
No comment.
Other
No
Cannibalistic
comment.
bugs.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, Roldoff will grab up a plate and he'll like motion to everybody else and like any of the people coming out of the thing.
Alright.
He'll pick up a plate and he'll specifically like offer it to Chipgrin if Chipgrin's like walking past.
Actually, he's already like sort of like marched off at a good pace. What? Pull it limb by limb.
Alright. I won't offer any to Chipgrin then. But like I'll
Sorry, my sound just went.
Okay.
offer it
Nice.
around to anybody who's there.
For the most part, everyone sort of like brushes past you like in a rush. They obviously look like kind of, amped up, riled up.
Make
But they
sure
gotta.
30 gold went to Martin.
Yep.
Hey, what's food here.
Once everybody in the council has gone rolled off, we'll like start motioning like the guards over and like shoving plates into their hands.
they kind of like just smile, kind of shake their head, hold their hands up as in like no thank you, and most of them like already pat their belly as in like we already ate.
Yeah, it's like cold pub food. Would you? I wouldn't, probably.
Dude, depending on the pub, fuck yes.
Don't forget, like there was another 25 meals that have been delivered.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Alright, Roldorf's just gonna like.
How many guards do you think have not been fed this day?
I
Can we turn any of the food into like rations or something? Like tie them up in the cloth that they came in?
So the meals are for the most part, just sort of like what looks to be hunks of bread, sort of like a unidentified meat that you vaguely remember to be like lizard meat, like from the same type of animal that drew the caravan.
I'm gonna steal like 5
Some
breads
fungi.
in my knapsack. Just
Some
5
fungi
breads.
and like a sort of like a gravy. So the only thing that doesn't look too perishable is like the bread, but even that you reckon would go stale. Edible, but stale.
Alright, Roldorf's gonna he's gonna flag Topsy and Turvy over.
Oh yeah, they kind of actually look like they were gonna follow Chipgrin and then sort of like vacillated a little bit before coming over to you.
Roldorf's just gonna like rubbing the bridge of his nose, he's gonna motion like at all the food and say, I made a bit of a mistake. I didn't realise that once the council meeting started, the doors were closed and weren't going to open up. You guys seem to be getting along well enough with the were-rats. He gives them a thumbs up. Congratulations. Do you reckon if I leave it to you guys, you could maybe, like, take this food across the were-rats and, like, dole it out to, like, some of the were kitties or the were mummies or like
Wait. And I'll take about 10 of the breads off these plates, and I'm gonna walk over to Prince and then put them in his knapsack, and then it's like, oh, continue.
you know, I just as a further gesture of good faith to them from us. What do you guys reckon?
At this, like, you know, you barely even managed to finish the full sentence.
Yeah, that'd be a great idea. Me and my brother can do that. Yeah, that'd be a good gesture. Yeah.
Good.
Turby's been smoking the camels this week.
Is what is the supply situation like over for the were-rats? Just like in general for like the families and stuff. Like,
Could you repeat the question, sorry?
Rodolph's just asking them like what the supply situation seems to be like in general for the were-rats.
Well, not so good, I'm afraid. They have, well, enough weapons and armor for a standard fight, but, well, against oozes, weapons seem to be fairly short-lived objects.
Not so much the weapons. I'm thinking more like, you know, food, you know, and stuff. You jumped on this off reins. Like, is food scarce for them? Is
Well, let's say that good food is certainly scarce, but, there's no fungi over there, at least for the meantime. Why do you ask?
I'm a bit of a bleeding heart sometimes, you know. If you just take this food for now, and I don't know, maybe before we leave the city, I'll organize something. I don't.
Well, we'll give them the horses from the caravan. They could eat those.
They were lizards, and I don't think we technically own those.
They were rentals? Really? Didn't we lose 2 of them?
Yep.
Well, they weren't rentals. They belonged to you know, the lady who owns the caravan. Anyway, yeah. So take this food over. I don't know. Make sure kids get food before adults. I guess I'll let you guys figure it out, and then Rodolph will just like walk off back towards the end, like
Savage, just fucking walk off halfway through the conference.
Power play.
It's done when it comes. They get the idea.
grumbling to himself, like legitimately, kind of like angrily, but at the same time, like you know, he's doing the right thing, and he knows he's doing the right thing, but he's still angry.
Savage.
It must be getting a bit later now, I'm guessing. So a couple of hours passed since the meeting, which was at 12, so...
Yes, it's like early afternoon. Yep, early afternoon. Yep.
So to do.
We'll leave like the eve of battle until like next week for Dottie or whatever, so if there's anything you want to do before the final sleep, dawn of the final day, now's the
I'm
time.
pretty set.
Yeah, I think it'll be good to have a
Get us
final
all pumped
battle.
up.
Actually, no, I asked that Dust within half an hour, so I might go up to where he is.
Yep.
What was he going back to again?
To his like lab / store.
Right. Alright, I'll just head back up there. There's no door, is there? It's just like open thing.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, you get there and like he's like frantically busy like cooking up in like a massive cauldron. He has.
Cooking.
Well, let's just say in the morning you'll find out.
Oh, okay. I like surprises.
Yeah. Oh, and I got your crushed diamonds here. I'm sure you can get it out of the mortar and the pestle yourself.
Oh, no. Do you have something I can put it in?
Yeah.
Something, or...
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets like a small jar that looks like it's got some sort of like clear liquid in it. You open it up and it's just the smell of like pure alcohol almost knocks you off your feet briefly, and he kind of like pours in the crushed diamonds in there.
Sure, whatever. Alright. Dodge, you want the incense? I'll grab some of that.
Oh yeah. And he leans in under his desk and pulls out like a small like Hessian kind of bag / sack of incense.
That one's on the house. Enjoy.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'll take that and... Well, I guess I'll see you tomorrow, you know. Good luck with the cooking.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, he's already like distracted. He's not even paying attention to you. He's too busy, like cooking up.
The thing is, I want to set this up before I go to sleep, so I've got the slot. So... that's
Okay.
gonna be difficult. It's more a defensive mechanism, so... Just trying to decide where I would put it.
Or on
I
the
think
character
perhaps
sheet.
half the problem with that is we don't really have access to any of that section of the map yet. Like, we have to wait till that collapse has been cleared.
Well, what about this door here? Up north, just to the left of Kazuk's market.
The one leading to the house center.
Yeah.
What about it?
So, what was up here?
So, let me annotate. Large text. And red large text. Oh, maybe a different color. Green large text. Alright. So this is the house center. That's the house center there. Yep. You see that?
Yep.
That's Kazuk's market. To the right and down is the Steadfast Stone Temple.
Yeah, I don't mean to stretch it out more than... but I just wanted to get... For going to sleep, I wanted to do this before that.
Yep.
I
So
don't mind.
what's the plan? So like that's the house center. What are you trying to do here?
So where I'm pinging here, like up here.
Oh, I can't even see you ping.
Just to the left of the market.
Okay, so
Do those two
that's
red
the
doors
door.
exist?
Yep. So that's the doors that you use to get towards Chipgrin's area.
Right.
Oh, and FYI, like since you saw the old Blindenstone map, you would know that like further on, that's what that area of the caverns looks like.
So in me travelling up towards those gates, would I see Topsy and Turvy carrying the food? Or
Well,
like getting help carry food?
they left like a little bit before you, and you didn't say like that you jogged or anything, so
Yeah, sure.
you don't quite see them like just from out of the corner of your eye.
Yeah. Well, okay, I'm gonna head to those gates anyway. I assume there's guards guarding it.
Yep, there's two guards there.
Hi, I just need to do some war business. Can I pass through, please?
Which gates exactly? Sorry, the ones towards the rats or the house center? The rats. Okay, yep. They kind of look at each other and shrug, and they shift the gates open.
Yep. All right. So.
Just a word in before you do this. Does that trap trigger on just enemies, or can you protect people from it?
I will link it very shortly.
So I was just going to say, because the rat people might have to come through this way to get into the city to then go down.
I know.
You know for a fact that they would.
Yep, cool. Yeah. Just sort of put that out there.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so I'm just going to link it just so I can double check it. I've read through it a couple of times, but there's a lot of text. Forwarding. So this
That's a lot of text.
Yeah, this is the explosive rune one, but it's magical damage of one that I specify the damage sort of thing.
Okay. Yep.
So conceal the glyph. Glyph covers surface no larger than 10 feet diameter.
So, do you want to do an explosive one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Like right now?
Not where I've got the token.
Okay.
But I'll be about to do it soon. Why's that?
Oh, I was curious, that's all. I was just going to put down a token for it, that's all. Also, as was earlier said, the were rats did just sort of come through here.
So many words. Here we go. You can further refine the trigger so the spell activates only under certain circumstances or according to the physical characteristics such as height or weight.
Okay.
The creature kind, for example, war can be set to aberrations or drow or alignment. So, you can make it just hostile towards the
Oozes.
Yes, which I'll
That's
do.
cool.
You can also set conditions for the creatures that don't trigger the glyphs, such as those who say a certain password. Wow, this is amazing.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
In that case, just so it doesn't bother whatever hole it is, I might put it where I'm pinging now.
One moment. Sorry, I just had to look at something.
Basically, when my token is now.
Okay, you want to put it right in the center there? What's the it's a 20-foot radius sphere. Oh no, that's the explosion.
The explosion, the 10-foot is the trigger radius.
Is the trigger? Okay, alright, well if you draw... It's a radius or a circular. Well, if you draw like a circle within 10 feet, or like do a center point...
Yeah, I'll make it my pink aura. That's supposed to be a square or circle?
It should be a circle for a radius.
Yeah,
okay. So, do you want me to put down a token for it? So that I can put down a radius on it and free up your token?
Yeah, sure. So roughly there. I just want to make sure that's not gonna, because the explosion radius is 20 foot radius, so it'll reach out to about where the pointer is for the ruler. Yeah, the ruler. all the way up to
Sure.
about here.
I have a token for this purpose.
I've got to head off, guys, but
Yeah, no worries, bro.
chat to you guys later on.
Alright, man. Take it
Bye.
easy.
No worries. Oh, here's the token. Alright. Alright, so it is a 10 feet radius. It's called a what's the exact spell called, sorry?
Glyph of Warding. I linked it in the chat.
Yep. So I couldn't see it because I was on the wrong tab.
Yep.
I'll make it be controlled by you for what it's worth. Everyone can see it. And pop. There you go. And you want it. You place it where you want it. You should be able to control it.
Yeah, I think there is good enough.
Alright.
So, I'll
And you're gonna set it
put
to
the
what?
DC in the blue square. So DC is 13, and it's Dex for that.
I was
Okay.
going to say, it's kind of cool that you got your own little token for doing stuff like that. So if you ever use, like, bless the spiritual weapon or whatever it is, you can do stuff like that, have your own little token for it. That's pretty cool.
So yeah, it's only for the oozes and... Okay, so the most of the oozes is set to fire as well as lightning and sometimes cold. So... Shit. Therefore, I'm gonna make it thunder damage when it comes off.
Thunder damage, alright.
Thunder, yeah.
I can do that.
You get acid damage.
That'd be hella smart. It's funny how thunder and lightning are different types of damage.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I'm
think
guessing thunder
thunder's
damage
more
is just...
sonic.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know why they call it thunder and not like sonic or I don't know, whatever.
What's the sort of... In this room, what does it look like sort of thing? Just that a certain room where the glyph is.
Okay, I have an actual description for that room.
Oh well.
That you're about to blow up.
Stand by. For
Yeah,
a description
boy.
of the room you're about to blow up. That is room number...
There's pictures of family portraits of parents with their children.
So,
You know I could do this more than once if I had more of the diamonds. I could do it 3 times. That'd be great.
Oh, so you could like set up 3 separate traps.
Yeah, but I'd need 600 gold worth of diamonds.
Oh.
you are right now in the quote main entrance. So on the way through, there was like a whole bunch of like sort of just trash and like rubble and stuff like that. Right now, you are in sort of the main entrance. You see like the remains of like the trap that you already walked through earlier on, where the poison darts were. That hasn't been reset yet. Obviously, otherwise you would have triggered it. And to the right, you kind of notice a sort of a smell like wafting, like the wind kind of gently wafts from the right, as in like I guess the east. And you notice that on that wind is just this foul stench, like it just smells wrong.
Okay. What's the floor looking like here? This zone floor, I guess.
So it's hard stone. There's little bits of like rubble and stone, sort of in like almost like a coarse powder. Every few feet there'll be a sort of a thin patch of it. There's little bits of bone and stuff every dozen feet or so.
Yep.
But otherwise, yeah, it's hard stone.
So, I was going to make it an object, but I don't think I really need to, so I'll just make it look like the floor that's already there, essentially.
Well, if, like
It's only really
it-
if they notice something weird, like they're being oozes, so they're not really going to do a check, intelligence check or anything.
basically it's going to be invisible. Sorry, nearly invisible, regardless of where you put it.
Yeah. otherwise they wouldn't have to do the int check sort of thing. But if they do, it's a DC 13 for the int, and otherwise it's just a dex save.
Sure.
Cool. Well, that's it. Well, I'll go and try and seek out Chip very quickly, and I mean, you can do it without conversation. I'll just let him know exactly where I put the glyph and to not be in the area if an ooze is coming near it. And it's completely safe just to everyone apart from oozes.
Fair.
I'll bring that, and then I'll head back to the inn.
Alright. And shall we leave it there for tonight, or?
Sure.
Indeed.
Alright. Well, that was, yep. That was big.
The battle has yet to come.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I could very easily have sat here till like 2 a.m. Like,
If you want, we can. Like, it's up to you guys. I'm keen to
Oh
stay.
no.
just grinding away at fucking Chipgrin and the Digger Maddock guy, just like grinding away.
Oh,
No.
in the discussion.
Yeah.
Well, see, I would be inclined to do that as well, but I'm guessing correctly, perhaps, that most of the party would get frustrated if it's like a
I
literal
was
2
gonna
hour.
say, I was actually quite enjoying it. That's why I wasn't. I didn't speak up at all because I was actually enjoying just listening to you guys. Do your thing.
The both seem kind of obstinate characters, so it's very difficult. So you just have to be blunt and be plain, I think, with the reasoning. It could possibly discuss all day, but really I think they probably wouldn't budge unless, you made sort of realistic sort of talk, I guess.
If my character was more evil, I think by this point in time,
Command
You'd be
spell.
dead.
he'd probably have like killed them both and been like,
I mean, we were sort of decided with these main Blindenstone people that they basically said, hey, you can kill them if you want, we just want you to get rid of them. If you want to go peaceful about it, by all means, but yes, we could have just gone and killed them, although it would have been a long way of doing that, I imagine.
yep.
For the greater good.
Good.
Alright, thanks for those who watched. We'll be back next week with a Underdark finale.
The stunning conclusion.
Bye-bye.
Cue the next like 4 months of like 3-hour sessions of everybody just standing there like